Yes, it's the Bennington Show on a Thursday. Telling you to wake up and then sleep now on a fire. Ron Bennington, Gail Bennington.
Yo.
This is your another one of your songs this week.
Yes, another film director directed the music video. Do you know who it is?
I do know who this one is, as we recently had him in. Joe?
Quentin Tarantino.
We recently had Quentin in?
No. Oh.
There's a dainty girl in there.
I know you want to do it, Chris. Go ahead.
Mr. Michael Moore.
A mouse. Oh, Jesus, this kid. He's in trouble. It's the Bennington Show. Thursday. The internets are blowing up with a couple of different stories. I'll let Chris tell his first because he's the big video girl guy. And this is just a place that you can go and watch girls play video games.
It's called Twitch, and it's a streaming people play video game service.
People watching, people streaming, people playing video service.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. And what exactly happened this time?
So this girl who was on screen flashed her very large breasts, and everyone freaked out, and now all these dudes are banned from using the service because she showed her breasts to everyone.
Why are the dudes banned?
Because she was on their channel, and so they let this happen. So that was the problem. Yeah, there's her right there.
Hey, what the fuck?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
All right, let me see it again. So she just stands up. She did it so fast.
And they freak out.
Now, are they all playing the game against each other?
They're all playing together. They're all playing
They're
a
a
game
team.
together. They're a team, yeah.
And never on a team do you break out the puppies. That's a fucking bad thing.
Not on Twitch, because now they're banned for 30 days.
So is Twitch the same service
As Twitter?
as the one that the girl had her vagina out
Yes.
and everyone got upset?
Yeah, lip slip girl.
Maybe they should just, loosen up a little. It seems like this is what the people
You can't
want.
loosen up. You're playing games where you're pretending people are dying. The
Right.
last thing you can do is have the slice amount of sexuality.
Yeah, that's bizarre. If you're comfortable with blowing people's heads up.
Well, that's every movie that we ever see and in most TV shows. So that is okay. But anything sexual, we're still cringy about.
That's always the strangest thing to me is the way people are comfortable with showing kids violence and totally uncomfortable with sex. Like
Right.
they are like, dear God, do not let that child see a breast, see a love making and oral sex, please. They'll
That
be
could
ruined
lead
for life.
to something. But when you watch violence, hey, that's not going to lead to anything.
Right.
But watching two people do that nasty thing, no, you can't do that because a child would want to do it. Give them a movie where someone's having a gun and shooting up a lot of people. Well, you brought in that story the other day, Chris. How many people did something as silly and you think Iron Man is just like, the kids dress up like Iron Man. How many people has Iron Man killed in the movie so far?
Hundreds of people he's killed. Hundreds.
And yeah,
This is the hero.
he's the hero. He's the good guy. Give me the exact figure, Joe, because it's up there somewhere. But because somebody went through and counted them all. That can be PG. That's not a big deal. Hundreds of people dying.
Oh, that's totally fine.
But if you show that tit, freak out. Well, it's up on the iBang. Please do not let your children see it, though.
No.
Please, for the love of God. Or they'll know that women have breasts.
We want to keep them in the dark about
And it
what's in
isn't
there.
so much the breast, but there's a nipple on the end of that breast.
Oh, yeah.
It's just horrible.
Like if she were wearing some nice pasties, totally acceptable.
Unfortunately, she didn't. She just had her breast out while she was playing video games. And apparently she was also very drunk, is what the guy who was running the channel said.
Okay. Was that the guy who, what the fuck?
Yeah. What the fuck? Okay? You think he'd be happy?
Here's what Chris is his title for this too. Video game vlogger flashes large breasts. That is maybe the worst headline in history.
He is an Zodiac for headlines.
Why wouldn't you just do Girl Flash's video game site? That's it. Video game vlogger.
I wanted to, I wanted to catch.
By the way, Chris told us hundreds. I'm being told this. Joe, do you have it?
I do.
Yeah.
75,157.
Way off.
Aren't you glad that
Many
I didn't leave it at you? And that's something, by the way, that was Chris's story. And he had it as hundreds. But then he had video game vlogger, Flash's large breast. Just large breast.
I know. Why does the size matter?
I want to get people's interest.
There's another sex story, but I think I'll go to an online story because Vito was freaked about this one. And that is, and Vito, I don't know whether he gets freaked like his generation or he sees that his generation gets freaked and jumps into it. But that's that Instagram changed their logo.
Yeah, Instagram changed their logo to this like disgustingly like neon weird looking thing. And it was just a total and utter shock to everybody that woke up, saw our usual Instagram logo. And then
Well, what is the normal, the old school?
Okay, so I haven't updated mine. So
Yeah.
this is the old one. It looks very cute, like an instant camera.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, here's the deal with that. I guess they feel like that's going to be dated fast. You
But
know
I
what
thought that's what was cute about it. Like it was like old timey, like a.
But why would anybody be freaked out by the other one, which is just kind of a drawing of a camera?
I like it, to be totally honest, but I'm Generation Y.
No, you know what you are? You're fucking
millennial.
generation contrarian.
He
And
is.
that's it.
He hates his generation. He's
Now,
a
this is
traitor.
what fucking Vito writes, right? Now, you can see that logo, and you don't like the logo.
I don't like it.
Chris, you're saying you do, but whatever.
Why?
And to me, it's nothing. This is what fucking Vito writes. Like a leprechaun's shit after eating bad Skittles. Why would you be that upset?
Because I didn't want them to change it. I was used to it, and I was scrolling through my phone later on in the day to go check out my feed, and I couldn't even find it because I didn't recognize that pile of garbage.
And now you can recognize it, and life goes back to normal. You and your friends are going to show each other, you guys eating a fucking sandwich, whatever you seem to be excited about.
Get those likes, bro.
I'm madder about this than when Uber changed their logo.
I'm still
really
not over
affected
the
me.
Uber one. I just really don't like it, and I think it's slower since the
It's
update.
definitely slower.
Like when you go to load it
Yes,
up and it
it's
just
slower.
keeps spinning for eternity.
Yeah, it's definitely slower.
I hate it.
But I don't care about what anybody's logo
It
is.
also no longer makes a U. Before it was a U.
Yeah.
What's that? That's like a backwards
Yeah,
C.
People think the U, and they think the University of Miami.
Exactly.
The U.
Well, I don't care for the update. Maybe I'll just never update it.
I
They
don't
can't
think you can
force
get
me.
away with that.
No.
Are you an Instagrammer?
I am an Instagrammer.
You have an aunt who has an Instagram, and then she doesn't even post on it. That's what our little niece was telling us.
Through FaceTime, we were talking to her.
Yeah.
She has an Instagram and she doesn't even post on it about her mother.
I don't get it.
She has a great Instagram that is just all her dog, but she does it from her dog's perspective, which is pretty cute.
Oh, let me say it.
I believe it's well, maybe I shouldn't say it out loud.
Yeah, don't do that because there's fucking horrendous people that listen.
I would hope that she's private.
But we thought that was very funny that she's like, my mom. What a dick.
Who would do this?
What a nerd.
And she doesn't even Snapchat. She has the whole setup. Not one Snapchat.
She is a regular L7.
Yeah.
I'm finding it.
Yeah, it takes forever with this new logo.
I know, it sucks. It fucking blows.
Leprechaun shit.
Dude, seriously, did you steal that line from somebody? Why would you care what fucking color a logo is?
Or what color her leprechaun shits. That's none of your beeswax.
It's distracting from the eyes, and I can't deal with this.
All right, I have no signal.
I don't do any of this, but and this name might be a little too old school, I consider myself a lurker.
Oh.
I look at people's Instagram, but it doesn't even occur to me to have my own.
Yeah, that I've always been a fan of being a lurker, but I do have I do post on Instagram. Mostly birdie and flowers that I see.
Why don't you do it from Birdie's point of view?
Someone already
Birdie
did it,
Instagram.
and she does it well.
God, your phone doesn't even work, huh?
I know. I have no signal in here. I think
What do
I.
you got, a fucking Samsung? You know?
Yeah, right.
Those are good phones.
Are they?
Oh, yeah, they're great.
I'm on the wrong Wi-Fi. That's why. That's
Chris-
Wi-Fi.
By the way, Chris is still non-smoking, non-drinking.
I
non-pill
cannot believe how well you're taking to the no smoking.
Well, I've found that my hands are now just peeling for some reason. I guess that's a fucking. I looked it up online. Someone said that their skin started peeling when they stopped smoking. One person on the internet said that. So I
What?
guess that's why. And I can't sleep less than 8 or 9 hours a night. So I guess that's fatigue.
That sounds fantastic, though.
I don't know. I'm just not used to it. It's a whole new world.
What do you normally sleep?
5. Like that's a nice sleep. 5 hours.
And now 9 hours.
I'm just thinking about how bad I struggled when I quit, and you're very normal
No,
considering.
remember he's been in fights,
I am
but
irritable.
he's not talking about anything. He's not
Right.
talking about smoking and all that, which a lot of people do. But this might open up for my dream for him, male model.
Oh, you
Nice.
think?
Yeah.
Get those teeth nice and white, finally.
Oh my god.
Clear skin and eyes. Although hand modeling is out of the question with
Oh,
those
no.
peeling hands.
Totally gone now. They're just peeling for no reason. It's very, very creepy.
I'm looking at this online right now. So skin peeling does happen,
All right.
and your menstrual may change
Okay.
Oh no, my pussy.
after quit.
What a weirdo.
Seriously, dude.
All right.
Seriously. Just like a fucking child. An unfunny child.
So weird.
I know.
He's such a weird person.
I know. He's just a fuck up. And the sandwich shop is the worst.
No, it's not.
You fucking owe that, dude.
No,
After what you just fucking did, you fucking owe taking the shit for the sandwich shop.
I agree. I totally agree.
I'm not hearing about anything with Paul Ryan, only they vow to overcome their differences. And then, of course, Mitt Romney says something must be really bad with Trump if he's not releasing his income tax thing. So he says that's a bombshell.
When will Paul Ryan have to take a stance officially?
I would have thought by today. The fact that they're just saying we're committing to unifying and we're going to work on it, not the best.
No, that's not endorsing someone. That's not giving them your support. That's saying,
No. That's saying we're still far away. That's weird.
That's like the same acceptance you would say, like, we're going to try to work across the aisle. We don't love this idea, but we're not going to be difficult.
Apparently, I'm trying to pick this up as we get along. I got, a dense squad that isn't going to move on this. But Trump had to say a couple things and he wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? Like Trump wouldn't have to say, hey, I'm definitely going to do these things to make you guys happy. He just doesn't work that way.
No, he does not, he's not going to bend the knee.
No. And Ann Coulter doesn't want him to. You know what I mean? She's like, when I read her stuff, she's like, fuck Paul Ryan. You know what I mean? It's like that. And I'm like, man, that's impressive. Whether you're on his side or not, that's just impressive shit. Mona has an update for Chris.
Good morning, everybody.
Hey.
I was just calling to let you know that it's actually pretty normal for that to happen because it's just like the toxins are coming out in his hands. And I'm surprised it's not in his feet, too, because normally when people have those kind of poisons in their body, it just comes
Dude,
out their hands. And
he doesn't even take off his shoes, so we won't know for a while.
Well, probably be thankful for that. And he may even have some of his nails turn black. It's kind of like what happens with people with chemotherapy at the end of their therapy. All the toxins come out in their hands and feet peel and their nails turn black. So
he's fine.
Something to look forward to.
Yeah, you got something. Maybe something will fall off too. So.
Oh my goodness!
Christ.
All right.
What the fuck?
So I wish you luck, Stanley. I'm proud of you, though.
Peace.
Thanks. That's weird.
She just said it was normal and not weird. Stephen Knight says, Gail, why, if you've got a public Instagram, because the Bennington show does not use their Instagram at all. I'd like pictures of guests and studio fun. We're not social media people for some reason on this show. Ope does a great job of getting all kinds of video out and everything that happens on his show. But on my show, even when I bring up topics, I can't even see anybody go to it. We're just a very slow-moving, not on top of it show. And I mean, we got fucking ham hands back as it is now. So I don't know how we could ever get around that. I mean, we've had how many meetings on trying to, get the show moving.
Let's get serious about social media.
Why? Why would we just say that now and then do nothing to it? That's the stuff that annoys me most of all. Marcus in Texas.
Yeah, so apparently with the chick who showed her boob, like she apologized, and the guy said that he's never streaming with her again. And it makes sense because that's that dude's income. And like that chick was like fucking with her income. It's like if Chris Stanley sort of like ripped the microphones off and got you guys kicked off the air for like 30 days.
Well, why would anybody fucking think that his source of income should be people watching them play video games? That's the fucking thing of this new deal I don't understand at all.
I'm not even sure why anybody enjoys watching other people. I totally get playing video games. It's something people enjoy doing. I understand. But watching someone, that's very bizarre.
That's the kind of stuff that Gurian says about us watching sports, though. He's like, why would you watch someone play a game?
Right.
And it's literally, I'm like, you're nuts. But then when it comes to someone playing a video game, I'm like, no, they're nuts. Right.
Like he sees it like as if we were watching someone going hiking. Like, oh, that looks really enjoyable. Athletic.
I actually have watched those shows before. I'll watch someone climb. I like to watch people use up their life. Not me use up my life. All right, this is the other big story out there today. And Calvin Klein has a new ad that is making people furious and weird. It's an upskirt shot that a lot of people are saying it comes across as if it's a pederast.
They're saying it's fodder for pedophiles.
Yeah.
People are commenting.
I think that the combination of the angle, which is similar to the upskirt shot, and then, she has a kind of a youthful look about her. It definitely doesn't look like overly adult looking woman.
Well, you can say that about any model. I just brought that up yesterday by that girl from Sweden who won the thing. She's a beautiful girl, and then sometimes you look at her and she looks like a child. But she is an adult. This person is an adult. So I don't see how that sets up anything. And by the way, she's not doing, other than the fact that you think that she looks young, she's not even doing anything that seems as if she was young. And again, we just brought up that how many people got killed by Iron Man? 75,000. No one seems to be fucking weirded out. But this upskirt shot that you see here is not truly an upskirt shot. This is a modeling pose.
Right. And also, I think the reason that it is not perfectly suggestive of that is that she's making eye contact. Like, there's something very, purposeful about what she's doing. And what they've written is, I flash my Calvin Kleins, as though she's doing it purposefully, I don't think it implies total creep shot.
No, it certainly doesn't imply a creep shot. But even if it did, she's a paid model.
Right.
The picture itself. And by the way, does Calvin Klein troll the fucking straights? Yeah, he does. Calvin Klein does $1 million worth of fucking advertising and gets $50 million worth of fucking response to it. He's been doing this at least since the early 90s.
Right. So he could put out a photo like this and suddenly he's part of a conversation when there's been 1 million Calvin Klein ads with models in their underwear. And suddenly he's doing it in this way. The conversation gets going.
It's always him doing it. He's actually the guy going all the way back where people go, oh, they seem too young, or that looks like it's sexual assault. He's done this 1 million fucking times. This one, to me, seems like one of the tamer ones. I could get the fact that it looks like a creep shot. I don't get the fact that anybody could act like that's an underage girl.
Well, this is similar to when people were getting upset with all the American Apparel ads.
Right.
And they were saying, well, these girls, they look so young and it's creepy. It's purposefully trying to look like underage girls. But I think that the reason people thought that is because they were wearing no makeup to muted makeup. And that association is like, oh, that person looks young, but that's just because you're not used to seeing models not covered completely in makeup. So suddenly having imperfections, they're like, that's youth.
Whatever it happens to be, if the person is old enough to be doing this, and again, it's still performance piece no matter how you pull it out. So it's not like you could be, oh, they can't do this and act like you believe in any kind of freedom of speech or, artistic freedom at all. And, I mean, we could take pictures of Joe where Joe does not look his age. You know what I mean? We could take pictures of Joe, even accidentally, where he would look like a minor. He's just a young-looking guy. But you cannot sit around and be prejudiced against people who are young-looking and act like they don't have the rights of adults.
Yeah, I mean, all those American Apparel ads, too. Like, all of those girls were adult women. They were all over 18. They weren't...
Well, even in the ones that the people are under 18, we do fucking movies where people are under 18.
Right. And also, there are plenty of designers and labels who they use models who are under 18, and they're kind of in sexual, suggestive situations. So I thought just the mere fact that they looked purer, then people were like, oh, that I'm not okay with. But if you like tarred up a girl and like cover in makeup, that's okay.
Well, Brooke Shields, and it had to be before the 90s. It had to be late 70s, early 80s. Did the Nothing Comes Between Me and My Calvins. And people were fucking furious because they said it's a young girl acting like she's fucking free-lipping. And, life went on. You know what I mean? Like, do not act like life stops here. It's ridiculous. Here is Rod in California.
Hey, guys, $1,000,000.
Yeah.
Real quick on the video game thing. I got a 6-year-old, and he watches certain people play video games. He can watch it for hours because he learns shit to do. And some of those guys, like, they're aimed for kids. This guy will be playing with his children, and they're funny, and they're animated, and all that shit, and the guy makes so much fucking money.
Yeah, I don't know why Chris Stanley isn't doing it. He curses at the drop of a hat while he's playing games. He should be able to pick up on it.
You should be a vlogger.
All right, it is the Bennington Show on a Thursday. There's all the shit that's out there. The vlogging, the Calvin Klein upskirt shot that's up on the iBang. That, oh my God, is shaking up the internet.
I cannot.
The fact that Instagram changed a logo and an entire generation is crying about it as if it fucking matters.
It's just annoying. I don't think tears should be shed.
It's a fucking logo. Who cares? Cody Houston.
Hey, Ronnie. Hey, Gail.
Hey, what's up?
I got a question for Chris.
Okay.
I know you're not drinking, you're not smoking cigarettes, but what about weed?
No, I haven't smoked weed in like, 12 months or 12 weeks.
Yeah, you've kind of cut that out even before you were cutting drinking out, right?
No, it all stopped at the same time.
Yeah. It's a sober man.
It's a weird time. Yeah, no weed.
But you were still doing edibles, right?
Yeah, that's when I kind of got off the edibles because I was just eating too much. Just wiped your fucking brain out.
I still can't believe you're not suffering from smoking. I would have thought that you would be losing your mind at this point.
Just the skin on my hands, which is just disgusting, to be totally honest.
Hey, this is Glenn. Glenn, what's up?
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Good. I was just thinking in Florida here, there's billboards that line the side of the interstates which show, pro-life billboards, and the models typically are young, attractive, blonde, blue-eyed, and very innocent-looking mothers, which is just ironic. It kind of goes in conjunction with this new Calvin Klein advertisement. People all get all bent out of shape. So I guess their theory is if you're young, beautiful, and blonde hair and blue eyes, then your baby doesn't deserve to die.
I haven't seen these, but advertising is advertising. We've always used the young in advertising.
American Apparel and American Eagle Outfitters, they all got fucking beat up over the head with it. With young kids, just putting young kids in their ads.
Well, what's the one where it's like, is that American Eagle where it's like all mostly young boys, shirts off? That's American Eagle?
Yeah.
That's the one Chris fucking collects.
Oh man, one time I actually took my cousin to an American Eagle because she shops there, and there's like a big one in New York, and we're standing there in line, and this kind of, he was kind of a weird, lonely guy looking. I don't want to say a stereotype, but he just like had a weird vibe about him. And he comes walking up and he's like, "Do you mind if I just cut in front of you? I just like need to ask them a quick question." We're like, "Yeah, sure." And he gets to the front and goes, "Do you guys have the new catalog out where it's just like a lookbook?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's out here." And they say he comes in every month, like clockwork, and just gets the catalog and runs out.
That's why they make it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally why they make it.
And then the one girl's like, "He's never bought anything here." I've never seen him buy anything. But he was like, "I am in a rush. I need to get this home real quick."
Jason in Detroit.
Hey, Bennington. Hey, Chris, I got a question. This might be a little personal. If it is, I'm sorry that I'm out of line.
Ask anything.
I got a weird feeling you've changed your life because you're getting older, and I think it's because there's a certain girl in your life you want to change for. Is there any truth to this crazy theory that I have?
Zero truth.
Okay.
Are you saying that Big Bad Bill is Sweet William now? Are you saying that our own Chris Stanley might be looking for a Chrissy in the baby carriage? Is this what it's about, Chris?
Is it about a girl?
Nobody. Oh God, that would be. Nobody would say anything about that if that's what this is.
Yeah, we wouldn't say.
I think it's cool that you're doing that for her.
That's sweet.
I'm doing this for me. Selfish Chris Stanley.
That doesn't sound like you.
It doesn't at all. Unless you're doing this to impress your new friends.
Are you saying that you don't even like her, Chris?
No, I love her.
How much?
With all my heart.
That's not what the saying is. What is it?
I love her very much.
From the sky
to the ground, to the whole world round.
Yeah. What would you like to say to her on the show today?
Baby, I love
you. Baby, baby. That might be the greatest fucking song of all time.
It's so beautiful. Is that what you sing to her?
No.
Do you call her baby?
I call her baby, yeah.
Do you?
Uh-huh.
You don't seem like a guy who would have
he calls her baby. That's his nickname. He goes, "Hey, I can't work tonight. I'm taking baby out for a little fucking num-nums."
Baby, please.
I'm getting our noms on with baby.
Oh, God.
Joe, what's the greatest song of all time?
I think the greatest song is "Oh Sweet Nothing" by the Velvet Underground.
That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. Chris, what is it?
Hey Jude.
That's dumb. Go ahead, Gail.
Be My Baby.
Ridiculous. The greatest song of all time is "Didn't I Blow Your Mind This Time?"
Oh, that's such a good one.
And I like to sing it. I like to sing it to all the Calvin Klein girls out there today, whether they're being upskirt or down top. Either fucking way.
I got down topped.
That fucker just down topped me. You son of a bitch. And I bet he puts on his new ugly Instagram.
How can you even find it?
But there it is. Carla wants to let us know that it's Abercrombie, not American Eagle.
Okay.
Chris is trying to end the long line of fetal alcohol syndrome Stanleys. Wait a minute. If you're planning a baby for baby, That'd be fucking amazing. You're worried that your cum is too fucking rum soaked?
Well, it's so rummy.
Does not work.
You don't know that you shoot blanks.
Through independent experiments, I'm pretty positive.
That part is the fucking
It's the best. It's the best. Hey, let's take a break here. Bennington. It's the Bennington Show. Big good news is happening down the hall. Ryan Gosling is going to be down there showing himself off in just a little bit at the town hall.
What?
Along with Gladiator.
I'm going to be down there creeping.
Yeah, lurking. Go back to the word lurking. Joe, just want to say you're killing it, buddy.
Thanks.
Loving it. Very supportive of everything that you've got rocking over there. You're the man.
Thank you.
Well, that's sweet.
Isn't it?
That's really sweet. So did you guys hear about the Brooklyn Brawler has been released from the WWE?
Yeah, it's the biggest news of 1989. I had no idea he was still hanging around.
I had no idea that he's been rocking for like 30 years now.
Whenever they go to Barclays, they bring him out to a giant pop.
He shall be released. He shall be released.
So he
finally.
was training people all this time.
Yeah, so he has been working, but I think he's probably the most well-known jobber of wrestling history of all time. I would say he's probably.
Well, you see, you say all time, but you are just using the late 80s era that you love so much.
Right.
I would say that Iron Mike Sharp was a beloved and even went less for any kind of color at all. He was just Iron Mike Sharp. And it was always stunning to him that he lost.
Now, how did he get to take Iron Mike?
I guess, you get there and you get it. It's up to you.
I've always been a fan of Leapin' Lanny Poffo.
Now, would you consider Lanny a jobber?
I would say he would be at jobber status.
That hurts.
I know. I know it's painful.
Because I've seen him win some matches. See, I would go the other way. I see Barry Horowitz, definitely a jobber. And Barry had a great gimmick of patting himself on the back.
He's very proud of himself.
Yeah. Down to the fact that I'm not sure this, but I think he had some kind of shirt that had a hand on the back.
So he had the spot to hit it?
Yeah, well, no, like people could buy a shirt where they acted like Barry was patting the back.
Get a vest.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
With a big white hand on it.
Now, Vito, who are the biggest jobbers today? I mean, do they still have jobbers the same way they did when I was a kid?
Not the same way. Yeah. See, when you were younger and you watched it, they had the Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Where nobody wrestled anything but a jobber.
Yeah, so it was to put all the names over. So you throw a jobber in the ring, and then that sets you up for later in the week.
Well, now, like, the jobbers, it's not like guys who, like, are purposely losing every week. It's guys who are just, like, happen to be losing every week. Like, Dolph Ziggler, I guess, would be a jobber right now. Zack Ryder would be a jobber.
No way.
No.
Dolph Ziggler, but they put him in matches just to put other people over. It's like,
I don't think you know what a jobber is. A jobber, to me, gets 0 wins throughout their career. 0.
Yeah, like
against named people.
A jobber is almost like a henchman. It's like who the superhero like beats up, and they're just like a guy in a mask, and it doesn't really matter. That's almost what a jobber is for a wrestler. Now there is, of course, one jobber Cinderella story, and that was the 1, 2, 3 Kid.
Sure,
started out as a jobber, and then became X-Pac.
Yeah, and remember, even when he won his first match, he had to run out of the arena because the bad guy was so pissed off
was so mad
that he could lose to somebody. It was really a brilliant thing because they had him on for a couple weeks losing, right? So then you're not paying attention.
Right. It was so smart.
Yeah.
The sneaky jobber bit, the jobber turned superstar. It was so brilliant.
Watching that as a kid, I really freaked out when the 1, 2, 3 Kid actually got that win.
Oh, yeah, it was so exciting. And then because of that, I immediately loved him. It was like he made it. He crossed the threshold where no other jobber could before. What about Chris? What do you...
Spike Dudley was always a good jobber.
Spike Dudley.
I never would have considered him a jobber.
I'm trying to remember his face.
He was like the tiny Dudley boy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I would call him a jobber.
He was always getting the shit kicked out of him by the other Dudley boys.
Well, he was so tiny.
Yeah. Well, look at him.
And he took major bumps.
Was Sparky Plug a jobber?
I think you could have said Sparky Plug was like a Lanny Poffo, a guy who definitely had more losses than wins.
But the thing is, Lanny Poffo had like a really good gimmick for a jobber. Like usually a jobber is just like a name. Like it would just be like Bill Jones.
Yeah, that was always the thing where the Iron Sheik or anyone from Parts Unknown is taking on a guy from Livingston, New Jersey. You're just like, this does not fucking feel fair.
It's not going to work out.
I always love Gilbert. Gilbert is my favorite jobber.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Gilbert.
He was the tiny Goldberg.
Yeah,
He, was like
he would come out with sparklers, and they would have the fake crowd noises yelling Gilbert the whole time he came out.
Now, here's Garth in Indiana.
Special Delivery Jones.
See, S.D. Jones is a little before their time. S.D. Jones had a really great gimmick that his head was so oily that he could slip out of a fucking hold. And he would constantly just start to move himself, and the place would go crazy. But the most you could hope for him is that he would get out of a hole.
He's
from
out
being
again.
sweaty.
He slipped out again.
I mean, the number of headlocks I saw that man get out of.
They made a wrestling doll of him. I can't believe they'd make a wrestling doll for a jobber, but they did.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, Brooklyn Brawler also had a little doll made out of himself. And Brooklyn Brawler, I think they had plans for, and then it just got ridiculous.
If he came out now, he'd probably be more successful. Brooklyn's a lot more popular.
Yeah, but it isn't considered tough. Back then, when you said Brooklyn Brawler, it just literally meant, oh, this guy's a badass. He was able to survive Brooklyn. Not, he lives in a really upscale neighborhood that's on the rise.
Why hasn't anyone had like a Brooklyn hipster character?
Well, they had that one guy that was would have the bunny with him. It looked like it was a rave all the time.
Adam Rose.
Now that fucking bit was hilarious.
I don't know.
A rave would follow him around with a bunny that I think was supposed to be a hallucination.
Well, he's actually in the jobber crew right now. The social outcasts are the guy that come out and lose every week, no matter what.
Yeah, but see, what I would make the point is that the league no longer employs actual jobbers.
Yeah, they don't have guys just from like neighborhoods come out and just lose matches anymore. There's no more enhancement talent.
Chris in Philly.
How about the guy who was a jobber who was in the worst inclination of the horseman ever, Paul Roma?
Paul Roma.
Oh, yeah. Paul Roma was, again, I would put him as not a total jobber, but a guy who didn't work out, right, or he had pissed off the league in some way that he was not winning.
He's a big dude.
Yeah.
They did that a lot, right? Like you would just get kind of iced.
Well, who was the Red Rooster? Now, the Red Rooster was a guy who, when they first brought him out under his real name, he kind of was supposed to be the next Flair. But for some reason, he annoyed people, so they fucking made...
I really liked it.
They turned him into the Red Rooster and made him crow. And I think the whole point was supposed to be, he'll quit after what we're doing to him.
But he sold it. You know what I mean? Like, he really went with his
Yeah, you got to do your work.
I always love that about, like, somebody who just has a really dumb gimmick, but they're just, like, wholeheartedly like, I'm going to commit to this. Like, I'm going to be the clown for this.
Yeah. Here's John, Queens.
Hey, how you doing, Ron? Hey, Gail. Hey, Chris, how you doing? Biggest job of Barry Horowitz.
Now, didn't they even do a countdown for Barry Horowitz for most losses or something like that?
Really?
Yeah. Because he went from the WWF to the WCW. Same amount of success rate, both places.
I like when It's like they don't have a big enough personality to just have their name, but they just make them keep it. Like, we're not even going to waste a gimmick on you. You'll just be this guy.
Large Jewish man.
Just
Barry.
put on the trunks and get out there.
Just get out there, do your thing. Who knows? Maybe you'll be the next 1, 2, 3.
He rocked a pretty good mullet, right? Horowitz, that was his look.
Well, it was at the time, no one considered it a mullet. It was just a haircut. But there it is. Now you can see.
Yeah,
but look at the confidence for a man who doesn't play much.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's just like chin out, just like chest open. He's ready to take on the world.
Garth.
Hey, guys, mid-'80s, Pistol Pez Watley. Had the stereotypical jobber, like just plain red trunks, no image, no gimmicks.
Pistol Pez, which, footnote, is where Fez stole his name. And only did it while he was on the phone, where he had to quick come up with a name for himself.
No, that's really how it happened.
Yeah.
I knew it came from Pistol Pez Watley, but I didn't know he just like quickly made it up.
Yeah, we had him calling for some reason. A lot of times, like when he first started, we'd have him call from the other room and just do something. And we were going, so what's your name? And he goes, Fez Watley. And then we laugh. And I'm like, Fez? And he goes, my dad was a Shriner. And he was stuck with that fucking name after that for some reason. We thought, but the other thing is, like, you can see how he looked like a young Fez Watley, except for black.
He does. He absolutely does.
So, but yeah, the name came from there, but had nothing to do with him other than the name. You know what I mean? So people in wrestling would always like, what is the fucking angle? Why are you doing that? And we were like, it was just one call. I can't keep explaining it to you.
There was no reason. I wish he would have went with this look too, with this bow tie, bowler hat, underpants, and suit jacket. Which is a very cool
did
look.
more than you know. He did more than you know.
That's his private life.
Here's Bob. Bob in Jersey. Bob, go ahead, buddy. Yeah.
Hey, buddy. When I was a kid, there was a guy named Johnny Rod. Used to come out in like a sweat jacket. He'd unzip it.
I remember Johnny Rods. He pretty much brought nothing to the table, did he? There wasn't a lot
He had a nice
there.
mustache, though. He had a
scary
full
looking.
mustache.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame. I only know that because his wrestling school in Brooklyn advertises it as run by Hall of Famer Johnny Rods.
Really? Did he ever win?
I don't know, but he trained Bubba Ray Dudley and Big Cass.
See, the reality of it is, the guys who lose are more skilled than the guys who win. All of the spots get called by the guy who's getting his ass kicked. So a guy like the brawler would understand. And then because they're doing that, they're basically writing the theme of the match. So it's up to them whether or not it's a good match or not. That's why you'd see a lot of the great guys that you think of as winners lost right up into the last moment. A Ric Flair, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Those guys would be getting their ass kicked all over the place so they could do the big spots,
right,
and then win at the end.
Because it takes so much power to throw yourself too. I mean, really, that's you giving in to something. Like, they're not really tossing them as hard, but they are taking the bumps and they're pushing themselves forward like that. It's crazy. Watching them do it up close is nuts.
Dave in Columbus.
Hey, right. This guy should have been a jobber because he's so small. The Kabuki, remember when he blow the smoke in people's face?
Yeah, I would not have considered him a jobber under any circumstances.
He was the heel.
Yeah, he's a heel from, another country. A lot of times you would go into other federations and lose there instead of in your own federation. Jason, Minnesota.
Late 90s, you guys remember the Job Squad? Al Snow.
Oh, yes. The J.O.B. Squad, those guys.
Yeah, they were great.
That's a great call.
I totally forgot about them.
Yeah. Well, that's because they all came in from ECW, right?
Yeah.
And none of them were really getting put over.
No, so let's just be the Job Squad then. And let's just fucking get meta with it.
That's really great.
Yeah, during that time, they were doing a lot of that shit. Like, that's when they were like say Mizark and all that kind of stuff. Like they were making references to that kind of stuff.
Well, the WWE was so fucking lost, like they are now, that they just went and let the ECW guys. When they talk about that fucking late 90s, the Attitude thing, that was fucking copied from
Heyman.
What Paulie Dangerously had done in Philly.
Yeah.
And that stuff was the same way what happened with the comic books. They noticed that the people who read it when they were little still were reading it when they were older. There was no fucking thing of this being it's like if people never gave up watching Sesame Street.
Yeah.
And they were just sitting around making fun of Sesame Street when they were 45. That's what's happened with some of these so-called art forms.
But it doesn't seem like professional wrestling is even close to as popular as it was when I was a kid for kids to watch.
For little kids?
Yeah.
No. Your nephew seemed like he went through a period and he already gave up on it.
Yeah, it was a very quick.
And he's also, I think he was getting mocked out by the kids that he went to school with.
Really?
For liking wrestling.
Yeah, right, going, don't you know that's fake? Just at the same age that the whole Santa Claus thing comes through.
Oh my God, when that happened to me, I was so disturbed by it. Everyone's like, it's fake. And of course I was just like, yeah, I like it anyway. And then later I was like, guys, is it fake? Guys, a lot of people are saying it's fake.
My friend's little sister went up to him like a week ago and was like, some people at school were telling me that it's fake. Is this true? And he didn't know what to do, so he just walked away.
Smart. That's very smart. Josh in Kentucky.
Scott Armstrong, he was an old WCW wrestler. He was always a jobber.
I don't remember him off hand here.
Yeah, I don't recognize him.
Is that Road Dogg's brother?
He's actually a referee, I think, for him now, WWE.
Oh, yeah, that's Road Dogg's brother.
That's pretty cool.
They're really a family affair, wrestling. There's a lot of wrestling families.
Yeah. Well, you come into the business early on, and it's a big part of it has to do with trust and stuff like that. And in the old days, just like with the mafia, the family was the one that would be more likely to keep kayfabe. Once fucking kayfabe was broken, it's up for people like Vito. You wanted to be a wrestler once, right?
Oh yeah.
Did you try to go to any school?
No.
Yeah, I think it would be a waste of time for you. Seriously, I don't think that you have the ring sensibility, and I can't imagine you pulling off any kind of
spots.
Well, it's not even so much spots, but any fucking promo that he ever cut would just be dull as shit.
Well, I'm worried about his voice for it.
Oh, because I lose my voice so much?
He loses his voice. He talks for a minute, he loses his voice.
I looked up schools for a while. That's how I knew about Johnny Rod's school at Gleason's Gym in Brooklyn.
I bet they would have broke your fucking leg first week.
I know that my high school boyfriend got into it. I don't, some people tell me he's doing something in either Jersey or Staten Island.
The small guy?
No, Phil.
Yeah, you don't think he's small?
He's not anymore. That's what I hear. He's wrestling. He's always loved it.
He's now John Cena.
And that man grew up.
I'm going to look at that young man a whole differently. Well, that entire band was pretty much into wrestling.
Yeah, they were.
But he was a short guy.
Yeah, I guess so. It's very hard for me to tell when people are short because everyone seems very tall to me.
Well, you understand that there is a universal measurement. No matter where you happen to fall on.
It's a scale.
Dave in Columbus.
Spy report.
Spy report.
Spy report. Spy report.
eBay just took off the listing before it started of the gun that shot Trayvon Martin by Zimmerman in Florida.
Oh, I saw that on the news this morning, that he was going to auction off his gun.
He tried, but they took it off.
eBay said, no, you cannot do that.
No.
What's wrong with this dude? He's the worst.
Well, I picked that up when he shot the kid.
He's the absolute worst.
But you don't understand, he was being pushed down on the ground.
He was in trouble.
He was getting his ass beat by a child.
That child was trying to go home.
Yeah, but what did the kid go out for? Skittles or something?
Skittles and a soda.
That's why I don't let kids eat Skittles.
It was an Arizona iced tea. Because that's what all the people in the protests were carrying, the Skittles and the Arizona iced tea.
Well, he also was wearing a hoodie.
Yeah.
So
dangerous.
The world's most shadiest of clothing items for some reason.
So he's not able to sell it on eBay. I guess you just can't sell guns on eBay? Is that the deal?
I don't know. I didn't even know you could. I didn't know he was doing that on eBay. I didn't think you could buy a gun on eBay.
I know there's there's eBay's for guns, but I never heard of anyone buying a gun on eBay.
I thought it was on gunbroker.com.
So maybe they're the ones who pulled it. Not
Somebody
eBay.
pulled it, according to him. All right, Jeffrey Gurian online for us. Hey, Jeffrey.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's up?
Got a cold. You want to know the craziest thing? I had a dream last night, and every single person in the dream had a cold, and I woke up with a cold.
Well, yeah, every person does have whatever this chest cough is.
Everybody. I'm
Yeah.
on a
Going
train.
around, right?
Yeah.
But it's great. But in the dream, every person that I ran into had a cold.
You know why? You're dreaming of fucking Zika or whatever that fucking thing is. Is it Zika? Is that Zika?
Zika.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Zika. I'm glad I didn't dream that they had a sexually transmitted disease.
Well,
that would have been a drag.
You know, what do you think a cold is, though, when you really think about it?
An STD, yeah, that's true. It could very well be.
So, Jeffrey, we were talking about wrestlers that are jobbers. Who do you got?
I only know one wrestler, and he's in comedy, and you guys love him. I know Mick Foley.
Oh, Mick Foley.
He's the
Foley
best.
is incredible, right?
He's a buddy of yours, huh?
He's a buddy, yeah. And what amazed me was that he went on. You know, he was in a match where they ripped off his ear, and he kept going.
Yeah.
And I think he won the match. But I mean, that's a tough guy, man. If you can wrestle.
Well, you know,
someone
going
rips
off the
your
top
ear.
of Hell in the Cell, you don't ever have to prove your bravery to me again.
Pardon me? If what?
He went off the top of Hell in the Cell. He dropped about, what was it, 30, 40 feet?
That's 30 feet.
He had so many injuries. If you see him, he'll show. I mean, he's been damaged so badly, and nothing stops him. He's he even, he does stand-up comedy.
Well, you can make the case that he was always doing comedy.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
He's
You know?
definitely one of the... had to be one of the funniest wrestlers, like, hands down. Like, actually funny.
Hey, I did a thing with the Disciples. Matter of fact, this is the first thing that we ever did. And Cactus Jack come in, and people were backstage. They say, fucking Cactus Jack is here. And he had never even been to the WWE yet. So we went all over to say hi to him. He's like, hey, guys. He goes, I really wanted to be here tonight, but I got the shits. I'm not sure if I can stay. Very impressive.
That was before he became Mankind. First he was like Dude Love, then Cactus Jack. He had a lot of aliases.
Yeah, he did. But you got the timeline a little wrong, my friend.
Oh, really?
He was Cactus Jack Manson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then just Cactus Jack. And then Mankind. And then finally Dude Love.
And then sometimes all three at
Really?
different
Dude
points.
Love was the last one.
Well, that was the one that the ladies loved so much.
Great dancer.
Love.
Yeah, where's that song? That fucking song is amazing. But the ladies went crazy for Dude Love.
Oh, yes. The sexiness of Dude Love.
Yeah.
Amazing.
You can't resist Dude Love.
Who could? So it's been a crazy week, man. The other night...
Did you ever notice he had his genres all screwed up? I mean, he's playing disco music, but then he dresses like a 1960s hippie, and then he talked like some kind of a street hipster.
Yeah, he was like some sort of jive talking dude.
Yeah. You want to talk some jive?
I'll talk some jive like you never heard.
Jeffrey, does he do all these characters when he's on stage?
He does a lot of different things, man. I don't know if he does characters. He tells he's a storyteller. More than just like regular stand-up.
He's a spinner of yarns?
A spinner of yarns, yeah. He's got so many great stories. I hope one day when he's in town he'll come into the show, because he's a great guest. He's just a fun dude, man.
I did his, I was on the same show with him on Opie Show. And like during the commercials, you know what he talked about almost constantly?
What's that?
What?
Fonzie. He was reading a book about Fonzie.
Really?
And he was just saying how great Fonzie was and how much he likes Fonzie.
He's obsessed with Winkler?
Like we all are, really, in our own way.
How interesting. That's very interesting. He's an
It's fascinating.
he's got a very he's interested in a lot of things that you wouldn't particularly expect him to be interested in.
Now, a friend of mine knew the real Fonzie up in the Bronx.
Really?
Yeah. This is about the same time that they brought pizza to the Bronx. Am I right, Jeffrey?
Well, it was about the same time. Yeah, you're talking about Roy Drillick, the guy that I tell you about, that, who was the inspiration for Fonzie. That was amazing that I knew him and hung out with him. That was, I told you he wound up committing suicide. That dude.
It's sad to hear, isn't it? It's a silent killer.
Suicide, it could spoil your day.
That is true, or it could make your day. You know what I mean?
It depends.
I got this thing with Stanhope, and the entire book about he and his mom, and it's not an assisted suicide, but because she was able to do it herself, but it was a planned thing that everybody was into because she had emphysema, and I can't say that I'm against it.
Oh no, I can't. That's like choice.
I saw a suicide recently across the street from me. It was so weird. A girl jumped off a 28-story building.
Dude, I saw that in the paper. You were watching it?
I saw it just after it happened. They covered her with a sheet, and then the police cordoned off the area. And it was so bizarre because when they finally came to take her away, a guy came by with a hose to wash down the sidewalk because it was a mess, as you can imagine. And people were just walking right over the spot like nothing happened.
Everybody's in a hurry.
Everybody was rushing to work or wherever they were going.
Right.
And like a life just expired right there on that spot. And all that was left was a fucking stain. And it just
this is like poetry, what you're doing. What you're doing is poetry.
Well, it left me with such a weird feeling because that's what it felt like. Is that all life is about? Is
that all there is to a suicide?
As a fucking stain on the sidewalk. The guy washed her away.
Person.
And you just see the blood going down the sidewalk.
Well, what would you want to have happen? Turn into a fucking candy apple, Jeffrey? We got to move on here.
I guess, but it was a very weird. I saw it in a different way, on a whole different level.
You're sensitive.
How quickly? Well, much too sensitive. Yeah.
The way Jeffrey is. Yeah, it is. Jeffrey would not just the cops to cordon off the area, but to James cordon off the area. Give it a fun, comedic thing.
I would want the cops to give everyone a day off to just reflect.
Just like a car karaoke kind of day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just reflect on the meaning of life and how fucked up. I bet that as soon as somebody leaves the roof that they're sorry they did it.
I don't know.
There was a guy that jumped off, I think, the GW Bridge recently, and he survived. And he said the moment he hit the air, he regretted that he did it.
But that's one guy.
But I have heard that the percentage of survivors who say immediately they thought, "Why am I doing this?" The second they were.
Yeah, but there's a difference between doing that because you're in depression or the people that are in physical pain. You know what I mean?
Right.
Physical pain, and hey, by the way, as long as you exist, you're going to be in physical pain. You have to have a choice in that, right?
I agree with you, man. But you should just do a lot of downs. I can't see jumping in front of a train or some shit like that. That's
But
crazy.
Jeffrey, you know as well as I do, you can't kill yourself with downs. As much as you eat them, you know what I mean? You're just fine.
I feel better and better.
I don't care what anybody says. Yeah, you actually feel good.
I don't want
it was a euphemism I was using.
I think it's just going to make more people. If you take enough downs, it's going to make more people want to smoke. Because it just feels so good.
That is true. That little tingle that you get, it doesn't compare to anything.
Oh, nothing compares. Nothing compares to downs.
Eli Lilly was your higher power for a long time,
That's
right?
sad. That's a sad thing to say, but yeah, I guess that's true. Now, you don't jump around anymore, Jeffrey? You quit jumping around?
What happened?
I'm jumping. I'm crazy.
Okay.
Are you
I thought you were
kidding me?
cold.
I was all over the place. Did you see the column this week with Bobby Lee?
I did. I love Bobby Lee, by the way. He's such a character.
He is amazing. And you know what? His whole essence is so cool. First of all, he's very open about his sobriety. He said his whole life changed when he became sober, 14 years ago. And he started taking his clothes off on the stage about 10 years ago. And he has such confidence to do that. He walks through the fucking club basically naked. And he doesn't work out, obviously, so he's got what he's got. If you look in the column, you see there's a picture of him with his belly hanging out, and he's so cool, and he has a gorgeous girlfriend, and he said ever since he started doing that, he gets the hottest girls because they admire his confidence. He says if he thinks he's sexy, then other people think he's sexy.
It's like the Dude Love thing.
Yeah. Dude Love thinks he's sexy, and then we think he's sexy.
But that's an awesome state of mind to be in, because most people, and I include myself in that, are so self-conscious about their appearance.
Do you guys know who Bobby Lee's dad is, right?
No, I didn't.
Bruce Lee.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, my
That's Bruce Lee's kid.
Isn't that something? I could tell by the way he moves.
Well, you can tell by the way he uses his walk. He's a woman's man.
He's a woman's man.
No time to talk.
Absolutely. But he does a thing, and for some reason, when he does a lap dance when he's on stage, but he only does it for guys. He doesn't pick a girl. He picks a guy.
Gender fluid, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And he says to them, they have to agree to go along with everything that he does.
What was the guy that was on, hope you say it, Ian Halpern?
Ian Halpern.
He's got this book out that he says that it's going to become Bruce Jenner again.
Yeah, Caitlyn will be, is going to
She's not happy. She didn't like it. She still likes girls. And she's going to start slowly returning to Bruce Jenner.
No.
Yeah, that's according to Ian.
Really?
Ian. Do you know Ian Halpern?
No.
Jeffrey?
No, I can't.
He's been around a long time, right?
Yeah.
Since, like, even pre-internet, I think.
Yeah, like
he
the
was
90s.
doing gossip.
Yeah. Like E.
Who does he write for now?
I think he writes his own kind of
all over the
books
place
and stuff. Yeah.
No, Ian. No, I was thinking of Ian Moore, but he's page 6. No, I never heard of Ian Alpert.
You're thinking of Roger Moore from
Roger Moore. That's where I was thinking.
007.
He wrote a lot for a lot of different newspapers.
Yeah.
He was a very big gossiper. I was just so impressed with Bobby Lee's state of mind, because that's so cool. Because guys are always asking, "How do you meet girls?" And it's an attitude. And I just, he what do you call it?
Good with
he verbalized it really well.
But do you think it's interesting? I don't think it works that way for women. I don't think that men...
You don't think strippers get a lot of...
No, but I don't think that men value confidence the same way that women do.
I hate confidence in a woman. I like a woman who takes 2 hours to get ready to go out.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll go like this.
I look terrible.
Yeah, no, I'll go like, I wouldn't say terrible, but you got to have other stuff. You know what I mean? And then even like, does this make me look fat? And I'm like, well, I'm more short than fat. And a guy, you never see a guy going through his closets like a mad person.
What am I going to wear, Ron?
Yeah, it just doesn't happen
You've never
that
seen
way.
me get ready then.
I bet you do, because you're kind of but you seem confident when you go out. But a guy generally overthinks, like, this is plenty, you know?
Well, most guys dress like they're homeless. Men don't think really of making a fashion statement. They
Well,
just
Bowie
put on whatever
did.
shit they have.
You know, Bowie always made a fashion statement.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Always took a lot of care about his appearance. And, and I don't think men would be attracted to women who were out of shape, who went on stage and just took off their clothes. I don't think it works that way.
Mm-mm.
Well, I don't know. I think that there's plenty of women that carry confidence that guys dig.
But do you think it's at the same level the way that women value confidence before looks, before...
But I think we look for different things in each other. You know what I mean? Like the DNA thing still looks for the alpha male, right?
Yeah.
And the alpha male today doesn't even physically have to back it up like the old days. You know what I mean? He might have to verbally back it up.
Yeah.
But it's not the same thing where he has to get out there and physically fight. As a matter of fact, that guy is going to jail no matter how many fights he wins.
And being sued.
Yeah, he's sued in jail. He's in jail being sued.
I made a terrible choice.
Yeah.
This guy's awful.
I think in general men are much more superficial in what they look for in a woman.
Yeah.
Everything is visual. It's an attraction. Women they function on a higher level than men. And
Or lower. I mean,
me?
they don't understand. It could be a lower level.
I think that...
No, I think it's a higher level because they look more for inner things, like confidence and...
I look for outer stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
You're an outer man.
I do. I like a person with an outer life. Or an outer life.
With
I
an
like
outer
a
look.
woman who'll get on a water slide or
Yeah.
go over a waterfall.
I like a man with an otter pop. Like if he has an otter pop, I'm
Sure.
in.
Years ago, if I was going out with a girl who was particularly hot looking,
Yeah.
and she came over to my place, I would have a million pictures of other girls around.
Smart.
So that she wouldn't feel like she was that special, because otherwise, it's the only way that you could equalize the power, because certain women have such tremendous power
So it's all game with you, Jeffrey.
that you can't. No, but you can't even stand up to something like that. Women have the most power of anything.
Mm.
And anybody who doesn't admit that is not telling
Well,
the truth.
I said this years ago. I go, it's a man's world, but it won't mean a thing without a woman's or a girl's.
And you know who copied that from you? I think James Brown.
I'm not familiar with him.
Yeah, he was a starter. He was doing well for a while.
Yeah, but down south, I don't have. You know what I mean? I'm a northern guy. I'm a Yankee. If I'm to be totally honest.
But
here.
he definitely stole that from you.
Jeffrey, you also don't like to go anywhere without a woman on your arm, and a lot of people believe it's a prostitute.
Yeah, but that's false. I've never been with a prostitute, actually.
Our guest yesterday.
Never in my life. Pardon me?
Yeah, our
Yes.
guest yesterday thinks that you travel with prostitutes.
Who's yesterday? What are you talking about?
I don't want to say his name.
Oh, really? Oh, well, that's just
Fake
jealousy.
Henley, by the way.
That's just jealousy on a lot of people's parts. It's the same. It's the same as wondering how Bobby Lee can get a great-looking girl, because
Prostitution.
there are some people who just there are some people who just know how to connect with women, and most guys don't. And when they don't, a lot of men get angry at beautiful women. You know, a lot of women hate beautiful women just for the fact that they're beautiful.
But this doesn't sound like adult talk. You know what I mean? This is something people might think when they're a freshman in high school, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like we're all past that now.
What talk are you referring to? That sounds like high school talk.
This thing that there's some kind of games being played between the Mets and the women's, and you gotta get up over top of it and stuff. It's kind of immature.
It's very immature, and it shouldn't have to be that way. It definitely shouldn't have to be. I mean, that's the nature. You know, are you familiar with the seduction community?
Yeah, of
So
course.
it's all bullshit. It's like games. It's like things that you're supposed to do to try to take away women's power.
You know what I like to say? You can't have games without gay.
Which is true. Which is very true.
Yeah.
And you're speaking from experience, right?
And what's the seduction community? That's like the guy,
That dude, Mystery.
Mystery.
The guy that uses NLP and then he acts
Yeah.
like it's a fucking big deal. And
Yeah.
it's-
He was just like peacocking and nagging
Yeah.
to get women.
But the deal is, if you're out there every night, you're going to get it. You know what I mean? It's a numbers game.
Sure.
You know?
Exactly. It's a numbers game. And men have to learn how to be turned down. You know, there's a lot of that. You can't win everything that you go out for, you know?
You can't say that to children, though, can you? You're going to lose a lot, kids.
It's not always going to be happy for you.
It's mostly going to be losses.
Men are much better at taking that kind of stuff, like being turned down, than women. Women do not handle that well, but men are just like, you know, we learn to live with that from the time we're interested in girls.
I know, but it seems like you got to get out of the stereotypes, Jeffrey. You know what I mean?
I live with stereotypes. Isn't that
you
interesting,
date
though, that people, I hate stereotypes, but people seem to feel comfortable if they can put you in a category. You ever noticed
category.
that people
That's where I
love
like
to
to be
put
put.
people into categories?
It's categories. Yeah.
I
What
find
are
that
you
very
handing me, Chris?
fucking boring. It's boring. To like, if you can look at somebody and tell what they do for a living, or just something about them just because of the way they look, I always hated that. I always thought you should just be who
Jeffrey,
you are.
I got Kelly Carlin coming in next, so I got to... Do I break first for her, Chris, or bring her straight in?
We'll bring her straight in just in 2 minutes.
And have a great day, guys.
You too, buddy.
Bye, Jeffrey.
See you soon, man. Bye, Gail.
You afraid to jump in and interrupt? So scary. All right, so Kelly Carlin is stopping by. The National Comedy Center has acquired the archives of George Carlin, is scheduled open to the public in 2017. And this is upstate New York that's doing this. They got the Lucy Festival everywhere, too. Go to comedycentral.org. Now, the Kelly Carlin Show airs the first Sunday every month right here on Sirius XM at 7 p.m. Raw Dog, Channel 99. And her book, A Carlin Companion Growing Up with George, is available in major bookstores and online. It's really great. At Kelly_Carlin. Let's bring in Kelly. Hey, Kelly, great to see you again.
Thank you.
What an insane week that's been going on this week, huh?
Yes, totally insane.
Now, when they say the archives, what exactly are we talking about?
I have about 8 to 10 steamer trunks that my father collected things in from his life, his personal life and his career. So I have everything from scrapbooks with lots of clippings from the early 60s, starting with Burns and Carlin when my dad and Jack went out. Even before that, stuff from his DJing days in Shreveport and Boston. So clippings throughout the decades till the day he died and even after he died posthumously. Then we have memorabilia like ephemera, like the ticket from the very first Carnegie Hall he did in 72. Wow. A placard that would go on the tables at the Frontier Hotel when he opened for the Supremes in 1969. You know, so ephemera like that. Some clothing, all of his awards. That my dad was, what I like to say, you know, a little OCD, kind of anal. And so he would have also lists of every single appearance he made on a late night show in handwriting, what bits he did, what the date was, who was hosting, if it was Carson or a guest host, or was dad guest hosting kind of a thing. So he would keep track of all of his bits there. And then sometimes there's set lists even attached to that from the show. You know, and then actual handwritten jokes and notes, notes that he would say to himself that he would build his material with eventually. He'd build bits from, essays with, you know, as I like to call them. So, and it all, and photographs, and then all of his albums in every media, vinyl, cassette, 8-track. I was going through all the media stuff, really sorting through, deciding, you know, what's going into the archive specifically and I ended up counting like 92 8-track tapes. Wow. I'm like, what? You know, so I've kept them because it's like, you know, I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but, you know, you give a couple to the archive so they've got them. But then, you know, what do you do with 40 FM AM 8-track tapes? You know, what do you do with these things? So yeah, it's pretty funny. And it's been great to have these things. They've been stored in my garage, which is a little scary because I always worry about fire and things like that. And they're obviously not being preserved correctly. But it's been nice having my dad's stuff. It's been lovely. But, you know, it's going to be 8 years this June. And, you know, as you know, we talked about, all right, my book is out and all of that. And so I'm kind of done with the past, you know, time to move on. And the thing that was really sweet this week when the announcement came, and yesterday, you know, the big news, my dad was trending on Facebook. It was a miracle.
That's great.
But the fans were thanking me. And that's when I realized, I've really done the right thing here because the fans are going to get to see his stuff.
Now, where are they going to be kept at? This is
at the National Comedy Center, which is a new organization. They are in Jamestown, New York, which is Lucille Ball's hometown. There is a Lucy Desi museum there, and there's already something called the Lucy Fest. They've been having a festival for over 10 years. Great festival. But Lucy's real vision, and was always this, was to have some sort of a national comedy center that would acknowledge the art form of comedy, the truly unique American version of this art form, especially stand-up and sitcoms. I mean, truly unique version of it. And it'll cover everything. Stand-up, television, that'll include sitcoms, late night, all of that stuff, films, sketch, improv, writers' rooms, every iteration of the art form. These are really smart people. They get comedy. They're not going to Disney-fy it. They're not going to dumb it down. But it will be a family experience. But the really cool thing that they've done is they're designing it with these amazing people, Jack Rouse, who does big exhibitions in museums all over the world. And then the people who did the tower, downtown, the interactive part of that. So what you do is you go in and you fill out a survey about how old you are, your gender, what makes you laugh. I don't know what the questions are exactly. And then you get a little wristband. And the wristband's got a chip in it, and it's your unique user experience. So as you walk through the exhibition hall, the exhibits will change according to what's on your chip. So every time you go in, you could have a different museum experience. And as you age, you can have a different museum experience. Right. And as your tastes change, you will have a different museum experience, which I find is a great idea, because it's not like you go in once, you're like, all right, we've seen it. Mm-hmm. You're actually you're going to be able to learn how to do improv, and they're going to have educational stuff. They're going to have real archives, media archives, and plus, archives where scholars can study, things that are stored there, like my dad's stuff.
Where does the money for this come from? Where?
It's mostly privately raised, but also your governor has doing a huge regional funding of the Western New York region, the Buffalo region. They've gotten a few grants from that for some building funds, but it's a $50+ million capital fund, and they are mostly raising it through private people.
I find that just incredibly fascinating, because unlike a lot of other art forms, comedy goes in a million different directions.
Yep.
And there have been so many brilliant people who have done comedy in this country.
It's so true. And the fact that this has not been done yet.
Yeah.
Well, maybe 2 minutes after my dad died, people started taking me to lunch. Hey, we're going to do a comedy hall of fame. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. And everyone who, with people with real chops from George Slaughter, who, did the comedy, all that stuff, and did Laugh-In, right? To people, who I'd never heard of, lunches, meetings, stuff, nothing ever came about it. 2 years ago, my neighbor was working on some early designs and some early stuff for the National Comedy Center. Came to me, friend of mine, and said, hey, I'd love to introduce you. I know they're interested or whatever. And I just rolled my eyes like, yeah, right. I'll believe it when I see it. And then a year later, Journey Gunderson. Yes, her name is Journey Gunderson. She is the director of the National Comedy Center. She's a rock star of a woman. She contacted me and said, would you bring your solo show to the festival? And so I went up last summer. Paul Provenza and I went up, did my show, got to hang out, did a panel with Melissa Rivers and Harold Ramis's adult children about comedy legacy. We did the groundbreaking of the center. We all get to do the shovel in the sand thing. It was very fun. And I met with the board members and stuff, and I realized these people have not only a great vision, but they have real money and the wherewithal to get it done. And this regional revitalization is very exciting. And Jamestown is a fantastic little town.
It's beautiful, beautiful country.
It is beautiful country. And the people were great and charming as hell. And the Lucy fans were great, just fantastic. And I thought, all right, okay, this could be interesting. And, people have said, well, shouldn't your dad's stuff go to the Smithsonian? And I think, ego-wise, definitely go to the Smithsonian. And then I picture the last scene of Raiders of the Lost Ark, where, it goes into a warehouse, because, if it's not Archie Bunker's chair and Dorothy's red shoes, it's not going to be seen by the public.
Right. Yeah. And Archie Bunker's chair might not be out forever either. That
exactly.
Every year that gets a little less.
Exactly.
But for people going there, and I know this year for the Lucy Fest, I think Trevor Noah and
Louis Black and Brian Regan.
All right. So there's three, terrific comics.
Fantastic A-list people coming. Yeah.
And to have a site, just like you do with a presidential library, where you're not in the city, you're somewhere that people have to make a trip to.
Yeah, or the baseball hall, Cooperstown, exactly.
Cooperstown for baseball.
Yeah.
So you go up and do it, and that part of the country also has great food. You're close to wine country.
Niagara Falls up there. Chautauqua Institute is right there.
Finger Lakes, you're not far from Rochester with the Eastern City.
Yeah.
It's a really great trip particularly a family trip. But the fact that something that really didn't exist much when George was performing, now more every year, is the comedy nerd thing that came out of the fact that you can Google something, look at something over and over and over. So young people are exposed to way more stuff than I was.
Yeah, it seems like it's just become so strong in the last couple years, and or at least in the last decade. I feel like people congregate more and talk about comedy in a way that they did before.
It's creating a golden age. I mean, I really feel like we're in another golden age of comedy right now. It really is. I mean, comedy's exciting again.
Well, it's bringing different people into comedy that didn't exist before. Before, if you wanted to be a comedian, you had to be like George and make your friends laugh and then work your way up through it. But now people get interested in comedy first.
Yes.
And start to think about the craft and how to put it together. And that's way different vibe than being the funniest guy on the street corner who can keep that spot
that is
over and
true.
over.
Well said. Yes, absolutely.
So it's just a different way, but I love the fact that George's stuff is going to be there. And, you know, now that we look back at George, and there's a lifetime to go through.
Yeah.
You know, I was of the age where you could do it album by album and then special by special. But now you're saying to young people, here's a huge amount of stuff that we're just dropping at your feet.
Yeah, and here's an education about the context of culture too. Here he was in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Here he was in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and the aughts. I mean, you know, you watched him evolve with the times and what he was talking about, and there's a continuity because he's in each of those decades looking at our culture. Yeah.
Well, also with his career, you pick up the fact that, of course, since no one had kind of done that before, you know what I mean? That how do you stay socially relevant for years at a time? You can't plan it, or at least you couldn't have then.
Yeah. And you know, most of the guys went on to films.
Right.
You know, and don't do stand-up anymore.
Yeah.
You know, Eddie Murphy doesn't do stand-up. Chris Rock doesn't do stand-up.
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin doesn't do stand-up. And, you know, and Dad's original dream was to go to the movies, you know, but then when he got on the movie sets, he realized he wasn't in control. He was sitting around for hours. It wasn't a natural thing for him as stand-up was. He really was a monologist first.
Right.
You know? So he was forced to reinvent himself because he didn't want to get bored with himself and with the material. And it forced him all the time to say, okay, what's pissing me off this week, you know, or this year or this decade.
And there was so many things that could have just put him in a box. I mean, Hippy Dippy Weatherman alone.
And boy, did they want to put him in that box. Yeah.
Yeah. And that starts, you know, that thing ages out. So to be able to shake that off and move into the next place.
Have the courage in this career track, because, you know, once you get a little success in Hollywood, it is hard to reinvent yourself, and to have success and to say, you know what, I'm going to go and walk away from this and reinvent myself, especially that initial switch he did from the 60s to the 70s version. It was like, that's a lot of courage to do that. I don't know if I would have the courage, but, you know, the thing about it is that he felt so boxed in and so depressed by how, you know, I remember reading that he was talking about how he had a bunch of new bits, and this was like 69 before he made the change, and he wanted to do something new on one of the TV shows, variety shows he was going on. And, they were like, no, we just want you to do the Indian Sergeant bit again.
Right.
You know, something you'd been doing for 5 years, you know, and it was like, oh man, they're never going to let me out, you know, unless you break out.
It's a fascinating career. Now everybody can check it out at the National Comedy Center. They've acquired the archives of George Carlin, scheduled to open to the public 2017. Also, I want to say about Kelly's book, A Carlin Companion, Growing Up with George, is fascinating because you kind of see George through Kelly's eyes and Kelly's experiences, which is the way all of us kind of know our parents. Like, we don't completely know them, no matter how much time we have. And I don't think parents completely know their children as well. It's
Agreed.
Just, you know.
Agreed.
Those things is always just a miss for everybody.
Yeah, because, you know, we're all playing roles with each other. Your dad, your daughter, you know, it's like we just have our role. And And yeah, we do. We each have our own little Rashomon experience of life, our own little slice and perspective of it.
And that's already confusing for anyone to come from that perspective. But then when you have the outside world who loves him and adores him and has their own viewpoint, it's very interesting the way, then you're comparing your own to theirs. Yeah. It becomes a much more complex situation.
Well,
I
you're
think.
dancing in that.
Yeah.
But, I don't think we ever felt like we knew George as his fans. You know what I mean? Like
because he didn't talk about his real life at all.
Yeah.
I mean, his memoir, Last Words, was sitting in his computer for a couple of years before he died, and he didn't release it. He could have published it at any point.
Yeah.
But he waited, and, I'll let people handle this, for me.
Right.
And that told me something about him, and it has been scary for me to come out of the closet as his daughter on some level, because I wasn't sure if people were going to see, I always get this anyway. Oh, you're just riding on his coattails. Oh, daddy dearest and all this. I'm like, have you read my book? Do you understand who I am? No. But it's scary to come out of that shadow and to claim the light for yourself on some level, and to be the person that says, hey, here's this whole other 200 degrees of my father that you didn't know.
Yeah.
And the thing that I've loved, and really what I wanted to give to people, was he was a father. He was a husband. He was a struggling artist. He was a man in the world. He isn't just a god on a stage that you get to project onto. And, for me, it seems to be like part of my life's work is saying to people, you know what? Behind each one of our little masks, we're all human. We're all a little crazy. We're all suffering. We're all feeling a little lonely. And yet we all have so much to give. So let's all take off our masks and stop pretending. That feels like my life's work. And I feel like I got to do that with my book.
Well, you've done that with your connection with George, but then I think you also do it with what George loved, and that's comedy. I think the stuff that you've done with Paul Provenza is fascinating. It's just really brilliant stuff. The Showtime show was
love that show. We
unbelievable.
We can't believe we don't get to do it anymore.
Yeah.
It's been so sad. Yeah.
And I find him to be such a brilliant
Provenza.
I just think that he's crazy brilliant, crazy,
so deep, so big-hearted, so smart,
and able to sum up things. Some that are complex, or some that you've thought some way. He sums it up in a different way. It's always enlightening.
Yeah.
But how did you two start to work together?
Rick Overton connected us.
Oh, okay, great.
And we started hanging out. And at first I was really intimidated. He comes off a little intimidating, Provenza does. Kind of dark and brooding guy, and he's very intense Italian and all of that. I was a little intimidated, and then he asked me to work on the green room, and I was like, I don't do TV producing anymore. And he's like, no, Kelly, this is getting to work with me and, and hanging out with all these amazing comedians. And I was like, oh yeah, that's what that is. Had a great time doing that. And then, it was funny when I went on this cruise ship with Lewis Black and told my life story in 90 minutes with some slides and completely off the cuff, and everyone was laughing and crying in the audience, and came home from that because Lewis was like, hey, you should take this on the road. And I'm like rolling my eyes like, oh, the last thing the daughter of a famous person wants is to go on the road and tell stories about her father.
Yeah.
I need to be my separate self. And then I started hanging out with Paul. And we started talking about this. And as you know, Paul has got this incredible perspective. And he said to me, you don't understand, Kelly. Yes, okay, fine. You'll be talking about your family and your dad, but this is your chance to do your work in the world. And what do you want to do to shape this narrative? And what are the things you want to talk about that spark joy for you and that, feel like it's your life's work? What's your art that you want to talk about? And we were able to integrate this kind of amazing, dazzling life I had with my dad, in dark turns too, but just an amazing roller coaster of a life, and my life as an adult, to honor both, to honor my father, his career, his amazing mind, with the story of this family, being a family, trying to cope with drugs, alcohol, fame, an artist who was driven, and then a woman, myself, trying to find her way and her voice and her power through all of that. And the show would not be what it is without Paul Provenza, and my book wouldn't be what it is without him, because working on that show, even though I had a lot of these stories and I had an outline for my book before I even started working on the solo show, working on the solo show made me sit back and really decide, what is this story about? And what's the one that I can tell in such a way that allows me to express these important themes that are important to me. And so I will forever be grateful for Mr. Provenza, truly.
Well, it comes through in your book, not just you and your family, but the times that you lived in. Yeah. So anybody who grew up in a lot of those times, that was the story, and things that felt like they were truth at the time, which
absolutely
everybody was going through.
I mean, in 1972, if you had hair below your collar, you were a freak.
Yeah.
And you were an enemy of the state. And it felt dangerous out there. You felt like you were living in the French underground or something, I mean, it was daunting to be out there. And then to have a father who was not only willing on stage to be saying what he was saying, but, anyone who would give him a sideways glance on a corner somewhere or in a market, my dad would just turn around. What are you looking at? Really confront people. And I'd be like, oh my God, we're all going to jail.
Well, George was a real New York guy,
truly,
of his time. Provenza is actually remind you of that New York 70s, 80s guys that almost doesn't exist
truly
anymore.
Yeah.
There was always a harder edge.
This city was a harder city to be in, and certainly to grow up in, man, I mean, one of the coolest things about Provenza working on the project was, we started, I tell a story about being at Carnegie Hall in 72. I was 9 years old, and being completely swept up by the crowd chanting my dad's name, and I have this kind of numinous experience with the crowd and everything, and telling Paul these stories, and I tell him that story, and Paul says, I was 19 and I was in the audience, and that concert changed my life. And, and we looked at each other and we're like, of course we're doing this project together. Of course we are.
You almost wish that there was some weird picture that caught you both in it, But what's that story from Manchester too, Gail, where everybody went to a certain concert and
it was a Sex Pistols concert, and it was members of the Smiths and a couple other bands. Chris, who else?
The Buzzcocks.
Yeah, it was like
a vision,
and they were all just audience members, and they're watching the Sex Pistols, who've come in from London, and they're doing their thing, and they're like, "Hey, we could do this here," and it was like all of these guys who are not
chills just yet this. Amazing,
and just
it's the pebble dropping into the water, and it goes on for who knows how long.
And people met each other in that room that night. It's amazing, kind of how one event like that can spark a whole bunch of art, and then those bands create people who listen to them, and that happening outward. It's amazing,
and it just really underlines the real importance of always following that inner guide inside of you, that voice that has to get out, whatever that work is you're here to do, whether it's artistic or not, whatever it is. But when you're on that track, you are going to be a pebble in the pond in some way. You're going to ripple out, because your courage to speak up and speak out and do the work in the world, whether you're, working with refugees or at an abortion clinic or babies or, or want to be a rock star, whatever it is, you are creating a ripple, and it's how we do it. It's how we, us humans do these things.
And it's also terribly frustrating. It's not that, but everyone thinks that if you're on your own path that you feel some kind of light, and this is great.
Every once in a while you see it, but then it's
really you're just scraping, and why won't they get out of my way? Why won't people, it's just frustrating when you totally believe in something.
And you really can't do anything else.
Yeah.
It feels like a hell on some level, because you're like, okay, well, I can't be in a cubicle anymore. I can't do that. So I have to do this thing. But in the end, I think, what do we have in the end? When you look back on your life, is did I live my life the way, I needed to?
Right.
I think that's an essential thing.
Well, obviously if you're watching the news today, you think about George, what he'd be saying about this election. And that's also one of the reasons that we have to go back and look at these voices to see who keeps picking up the torches.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I was watching this, there's an interview going around right now with Jon Stewart. He was at, with David Axelrod.
In Chicago.
Yeah, in Chicago. And, everyone's watching it because we don't get any Jon Stewart anymore. And he was, saying, people are out there doing great stuff. And we just did a panel to announce this, Comedy Center thing. We did a panel with Larry Wilmore, Louis Black, Robert Klein, and Liz Winstead, and talking about politics and comedy and the role it plays and everything. And, and it's funny. It's essential that we have satire. It's essential that we comment on this stuff, and then we have comedians doing this work. But we had 15 years of Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert, and we got Donald Trump. So,
right.
We were talking about singing to the choir kind of a thing, And then I also was talking, I said, I don't know who else is talking about this, but I'm interested in it. I'm just putting it out there in the world. But, even if you're preaching to the choir, and the choir starts to think, well, all we get to do is just laugh at this stuff. At what point do we become citizens, though? Like, when do we stop watching YouTube and we actually leave our homes and do something about what's going on? Because I think there's a disconnect that's gone on. I think there's a little bit of a cynicism because it's now pure entertainment, but the planet is burning and it's not going to be funny.
I think that we've somehow gone from being citizens to baby birds with our mouths open.
That's a great image. Yeah.
What everybody what am I supposed to be getting? What am I supposed to be getting?
Feed me. Tell me what to do.
Right. But people forget you're supposed to be fighting for this thing.
Yep.
This is yours to fight for. This wasn't handed over to you okay, it's all done.
And government is screwed and media is screwed and big business is screwed. And these are all big institutions. And yet they're made up of citizens. They're made up of Americans. And these institutions only change when citizens put pressure on them to change. That's the only way they change.
And the shame about that is that they never get motivated to do that until the shit hits the fan. There's always a couple people who have the insight to say, here's the path that we're on.
Yes.
It's terrifying. Is everyone paying attention? This is terrifying. And it's not until the actual terrible thing happens, then the majority or the masses suddenly get behind it. It's a shame that people... it's hard to wake people up.
But I think it's human nature. I think about us in our own personal lives, Do you really take care of your body until the doctor looks you in the eye and goes, okay, all right, you got to quit smoking and you got to start, or whatever. Yeah. And, the alcoholic doesn't change until they hit rock bottom. The scary thing about that on the planet is, the planet is an ecosystem that's, at least the climate is going to do what it's going to do. And it's going to take thousands of years to rebalance itself, even if we all were to change today. So, it's people don't see that we've already hit rock bottom. You think about the people who created Earth Day in the 70s.
Yeah.
They saw it coming. 40 years ago, they saw it coming and they were like, hey, we need to pay attention to the earth. Hey, and we're all like, yeah, man, let's smoke some more weed. And yeah, let's go to Earth Day.
Yeah, it's true. That is a 40-year head start that we could have had. And, if you go back and look at that was so tied in with NASA and us going to the moon.
Yep.
That, we finally got some perspective of where we are in this giant universe with just a thin level, just this tiny layer of breathable stuff.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywhere. This is it.
Yeah, that's it.
I feel like we're laying on our back.
Not enough.
We can't get enough here. We just really need more.
That's a beautiful image. It's true.
Oh, well, we always love having you come in. It's always so great, and congratulations.
Thank you.
And the National Comedy Center has acquired the archives of George Carlin, scheduled to open to the public. Go to comedycenter.org. Kelly Carlin's show airs the first Sunday every month here on Sirius XM, 7 o'clock on Raw Dog, Channel 99. And Kelly's book, A Carlin Companion, Growing Up with George. Fascinating stuff. Always great to see you, my friend.
Always a pleasure to come talk to you guys. Love this
so
space.
Much.
We'll do it again soon.
Welcome back to Bennington. And comedian Chad Zumach's in the studio with us. Chad will be performing tonight, May 12th at Gotham Comedy Club in New York City for Gotham Comedy Live on Access TV. Go to GothamComedyClub.com for more information. And on Twitter, it's at Chad Zumach.
Chad! Buddy, how long has it been that we've been kind of emailing back and forth and stuff?
It's been a while, man.
It has been a long time.
I grew up listening to you.
Where did you first start listening?
I mean, since I got an XM radio.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always been in tune. I mean, I'm just you know how much road work I do and how many cities I go to listening to just this show. And so, like, I walked in, I'm like, I know you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, we're friends, but you don't know who I am.
Well, radio is the weirdest thing. You've worked in radio. You know that's strange, the way people react to you.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Yeah. At the same time, you meet everybody in this business, but sometimes you still get like a little giddy. I'm like, oh, it's Ron Bennington. This is cool.
Well, that's the funny thing, though. The radio is a very intimate relationship, normally a one-on-one. It's not like a movie, something. So you don't feel like, oh, there's a big star. You're like, oh, there's somebody I know, grew up with that person.
And most people listen to radio either alone or like late at night. And then I think even now, I think a lot of people listen with headphones. So it like really feels
you're
like
really inside that
it's like
head.
a voice in your head.
But you did radio where?
I was in Cleveland, Ohio. I actually did a couple stints. My longest was at 100.7 WMMS. Let's give them a plug.
Yes,
why not?
sure.
Since they fired me. Why not? And then I did a short stint at a radio show. It was a 87.7. It flipped to a Spanish format. And I was up for a job in Chicago at the Loop. That's the one I really wanted. I guess another guy got it. And now I'm just like, that business. I mean, this is great. I love this, but I don't know. I'm back on the road, just working with Jim Florentine a lot and doing that.
Well, you know, anybody who watched him die on Louis C.K.'s show know that being on the road with Jim Florentine. Was that the funniest goddamn episode that Louis ever did?
I Googled Jim. I go, Jim, I think you're the first person in TV history to die giving an upper decker.
Yeah, well, it has to be.
He's like, that's great. I can't wait to tell my son. It's going to be nice.
Did you hear about Ozzy breaking up with his wife? Maybe you should be able to go on Eddie Trunk's show now. By the way, Florentine has that great album out right now about his whole experiences with. Well, it's way more personal than you've ever heard him get before. And I saw that he was running a special the other day. I don't know whether it's still on.
It's I'm Your Savior. You can get it at JimFlorentine.com. Wow, I'm plugging Jim.
You playing that? Plug the guy.
Do it. That's
He's
beautiful.
your guy.
He is.
You guys are on the road together.
He's my big brother, man. He's looked out after me. I went through some tough times. I'm about a year sober now, which is pretty cool. Got my life back together because I was going through some tough times. And, I got charged with a DUI in Cleveland. That's why I wasn't in radio anymore. It was the scariest feeling in the world. And I got a mugshot that was online, except my mugshot was clicked on 1.5 million times from the news article.
Right.
It went viral like it was chocolate rain. It was everywhere. And it was like you Google my name, it's the first thing that came up, and it was unbelievable, so I just made it my album cover. Why not?
Well, you wouldn't think a DUI in Cleveland would be all that different. You know what I mean? Like,
Ron,
it seems...
It was the slowest news day in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah. All right, that is a scary...
That's a bad Tuesday right there.
Yeah. That is trying to hear the Johnny Manziel's fucking up again.
Yeah, I mean, that is some mean mugging right
It
there.
is.
I was mad.
Yeah. Yeah, you look it. I can tell.
I was down $10,000 right there. That was going to lawyer fees, court.
It is the worst thing that happens when you know you're at the beginning of that kind of cycle. You know,
it was crazy because the show was really popular, so everybody had an opinion on the situation. Everyone was weighing in, and friendships divided, and it was really traumatizing. I got so depressed, and I started drinking more.
Right.
I was drinking more to cope, and I was pouring depression on top of depression, and it got to the point where I hit that bottom where I had to go to rehab for like 60 days because and it was at the time I wanted to die. I had no hope. Like I just didn't want to live, but it was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. Like the clarity of finding out the root of my problems, where I was going, and all the mistakes I were making. And I feel like I'm a new man. I feel like I was rebuilt, like Steve Austin from the $6 Million Man.
It's always interesting because some people they don't realize you got to throw yourself into it. Like if you're not even into it 100%, your chances of not, being able to stay sober are a tough one. So you could always see people by how they react to that initial thing. When they start adjusting it for themselves, you're like, okay.
But all that stuff, it seems like it has to be timing too. Like maybe your bottom at a different point of your life would be different than another. You know, it's like it just doesn't.
Right.
It has to be a lot of things happening at once for it to click.
Some people don't recognize where their bottom is. Some people, like, literally, they said something stupid at a party and they're like, oh my God, I can't live like this.
Yeah.
And other people have to steal a train and run it off the tracks and into a church before they go, do you think I have a problem? Even though that won't be enough for them.
I stole a blender from a Kohl's. I was drunk. I was drunk at a Kohl's. First of all, I don't know how I got there. And for some reason in my toxic vodka marinated mind, I'm like, I need a blender.
Yeah.
And I got one of those ninja blenders and I walked right out the front door with it and I got caught. And I woke up the next day. This is the sad part. And this isn't a bit. This is me talking. Yeah. I woke up and I was just like, I was in the kitchen. I was like, I already own a ninja blender. Like, I own one. Why did I do that?
Yeah.
So,
why are you drunk in a Kohl's anyway, too?
I know.
I don't know. That's a bottom, isn't it?
Yeah, that's to be that drunk during store hours. You know, that's like a very.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. You know, that's.
It was fun though. I remember having fun.
Yeah.
The outcome wasn't fun, but being in the store drunk was fun. I don't know what.
Sure.
Oh, it's a wonderful store, so it makes sense.
Yeah, that's the other thing, too, is like you can't forget that, yeah, you did have a lot of good times getting fucked up. You know, it didn't end the way you want, but what does? Neither does life. You know, but you had a hell of a run before this whole thing unraveled for you.
I have 45 minutes of material, like solid stand-up material from those days.
Right.
So I had to go through that to develop an act, I think. Because I'm a boring guy sober. I don't do anything except play online or listen to you guys, and that's about it.
You stay in Cleveland now? That's
Yeah, I bounce back and forth. I go stay with Jim but mostly I still have a place out there.
There's a kind of a comedy scene there now too, right?
There's some
really good people.
Yeah, it's a good scene. It was real competitive for a while, but now a lot of good things are happening to a lot of good comics. And my buddy Mike Polk's #3 on the iTunes charts.
That's
Ramon
great.
Rivas just got a half-hour special.
He's great too, man. He's just terrific.
Yeah, good guys, and it's just we were all like competitive, came up together, but now all this good stuff's happening, so we're all kind of like, all right, we're in this together.
Oh, at first you decided there's only so many gigs. You know, we're gonna be crabs in a pot attacking each other.
You know how it is. It gets political, but it makes you a better comic at the end of the day. But now we're supporting each other, and that's always good.
Well, you know what's really interesting, and particularly like when you look at the New York scene, where those guys have worked together for a long time. If one of them gets something, they end up hiring 12 of their friends. You know, so depending on like Amy has put a lot of money in people's pockets and given a lot of opportunity to people.
I thought that was really cool too. Like she does that in her show, but Trainwreck was just filled with her friends. Like
everybody got a paycheck, whether they got in it or not. You know?
That part almost doesn't matter.
But you know, the other thing is when you do get an opportunity, you want to surround yourself with people who you know and who you feel like you can trust. You know. You don't want a bunch of suits that are in there that are going to stab you in the back. So she's surrounded herself with people that she knows can, you know, right on their feet. And at the same time, people that aren't going to try to take her off. Because it's got to be crazy as shit when it starts to pop for you like that.
I remember years ago, Schumer she just did the Charlie Sheen roast. And we were at the Cleveland Improv. And I remember her talking about how, like, she just got to headline these improvs and she couldn't do colleges. And she was like, I got to pay my rent. I gotta pay, and like she's freaking out. I'm like, calm down. I mean, you're doing it. You're doing it.
Right.
And now she's one of the biggest stars in the world. So I always remember that conversation of, I gotta pay my rent.
Yeah, that's not that long ago either.
No.
You know, it's not that long ago. I remember that some people were mad at her because they thought that she was mean to Patrice. Because Patrice was like, hey, this shit isn't a joke.
Right.
No, this is killing me.
Yeah.
It was the funniest, to me, that was one of the funniest ways ever to react as a roast.
Yeah.
You know, not like, oh, I'm going to come up with another line. Like, how is that funny?
Yeah, exactly. But then people people then took that seriously. Like, she took it too far.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of realizing, like, they're obviously buddies.
Right.
And he's putting her over by doing that.
Who knows what he was doing, though? It's so hard to figure him out. I remember I went back and watched him on when Fallon had the other show, the show that Seth Meyers has, I don't know what's called, the Later at Night Late Show or something, and fucking Patrice comes out there, and he looked like he had no idea what a person does on a talk show. He sat in a chair, started talking to the band, and then started talking to the audience. And you see Jimmy's heads on the swivel trying to jump in. But I'm like, who doesn't know how a talk show works? He just decided, like, tonight's different because I'm here. So I'm going to bring up an old story with the band. Then I'm going to start talking to somebody in the audience. Hilarious. He never acted like he had any sense of history of American society whatsoever. Everything was brand new to him.
It's very ballsy to just take it over that way. It's great.
It's completely ballsy.
Patrice, I met him a few times, and not only can he just hold the room, but just hearing your stories about Patrice, I'm just like looking at you like, I love hearing every story about this guy.
I know.
And he has plenty of them.
He's literally the reason why I stayed with the Unmasked program, because he was so funny, but he was so smart in a different way than other people are smart. Like, I thought to myself, oh yeah, this is really fun just to sit here and talk to people about their own personal philosophy. And if they happen to be hilarious and you're doing that, it could be a funny show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it worked out for you.
Yes, you know what? I kept a gig so far.
Yeah, there you go.
But I remember minutes like leading into it thinking, I don't know. This might be the only day I do this. You know? I was talking to one guy. I did 2 in the first day, and I had 5 minutes in between them.
Yeah.
And like the funny thing is too, they told Patrice, now yours is going to run a week later, so don't bring up what happened before. It's exactly what he did the whole time. He was bringing up the other guy. You know,
oh my God.
He's like, my shit doesn't cure cancer like his does. And I was just laughing my ass off. He's like, hey, I want to buy my mama a house. He was like pissed off.
Right.
And somebody else had bought their mama a house.
Man, I always think back of that Unmasked when he tells the story about his chick saying like, oh, I got more bling than you now. Like, I'm more, like something like I'm more like baller than you or something. And he's like, you couldn't be if you had a diamond hat.
It was the funniest shit. That was the funniest shit.
A diamond hat.
Yeah. It was so funny. He was like, he came in, I don't know how this is going to work out. You know, we're both alpha dogs. So I'm not sure. You know, he goes, I respect you, but I don't know. You know, I don't know what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
It was so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Every moment of that was hilarious.
He's talking about how you guys pass each other in the hall and just like alpha the shit out of each other. Just like nod.
Hey, man.
Just like check each other out. Like, what's this about?
Yeah, hilarious.
So funny.
No one says that shit out loud. That's what's fucking funny.
Oh, yeah,
about
never.
it. You feel that, but you don't say it.
You can get all those for free now, right? You released them, all the Unmasked?
Yeah, I'm not allowed to talk about that.
Oh, I'm
but
sorry.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, you have to pay for them.
You know, I don't, it's Ron Bennington interviews. Just go there. But I don't promote it because, these guys don't see, There's a lot. It's supposed to be for PR people.
Oh.
So the lot can go up at any time we want.
Yeah.
And it only has to go up if someone says it out loud. And then my bosses hear it.
But it's helping all these comedians on the road. I'll be in a comedy condo just depressed, and I'll play an Unmasked, and it's like, it's great.
Well, you see that everybody was in a comedy condo at one point. They're like, there's no one who just started at the top. There's no first round draft in fucking comedy. You got to just keep doing it.
Yeah.
To the point where a sane person would quit. Anyone that was fucking level-headed would say, this is not a business for me. Right. I mean, if you even take, Patton Oswalt described a story of him going up to middle in fucking Alaska. You're like, why would that guy keep going?
Yeah.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
If just like someone asked you to do that, you would say, no, that sounds terrible.
That's not a career move.
That sounds terrible.
My backup plan was go to the NBA, and I got cut my senior year in high school. These are the only 2 things I want to do was comedy and basketball. And I can't do it.
When you're cut your senior year, I mean, normally they're going to at least let you ride Pine.
What the hell happened?
You would say, they say you put your mind to it, you could accomplish anything. So I would still practice outside of high school. I'm like, well, maybe someone will discover my moves.
Right.
And I'm averaging 6 points a game in a rec league. I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, the Rocky movie fucked a lot of people's heads up.
That's what did.
Yeah. I mean, literally, it should have stopped at Rocky 1 if they were being honest with themselves.
Right.
Because the fucking guy lost.
Yeah.
And he wasn't getting a lot of money that night. You know what I mean? And the money was going to head out as fast as it came in. And he was just going to be another guy in the neighborhood who had a story.
But he went the distance.
Yeah, sure.
Did he
That
go
is
the
a great
distance? Yes.
story.
Yeah.
But that's not a full career.
Right.
That you can,
that's a
that
sad
you can
story.
live on.
It's just one sad story.
That's basically like saying I went out and I did the cellar one night. Good night, everybody. That's the end of my career.
Did you see Creed?
I've lied twice about saying it. I've twice used it on a fucking shows that I saw it, but I haven't bothered.
It's good.
I saw it, and
I thought
really
he did a
liked
good
it.
job.
Yeah.
I actually cried a little bit.
Oh, I cried.
Was it about Polly's robot?
Oh yeah, I cried when the credits showed up and I realized his robot wasn't going to make an appearance. And I was just like, "This is fucked
So
up."
is Polly dead now too? I can't remember. Everybody's dead, right?
Yeah, Adrian's dead. Paulie's dead.
Paulie's
Yeah,
dead.
Paulo's dead.
Yeah.
I think the Russian's dead.
Everybody's
Everyone's
dead.
dead.
So why could it be a good movie then?
Creed.
Well, it's Creed. It's Apollo's son, and they're kind of restarting the franchise.
If I'm going to be honest here, fuck Apollo and fuck his son.
Whoa!
I only really think that the first Rocky is a good movie. I think all the rest of them are fucking ridiculous.
I think this one comes the closest to being a good sequel, though.
Even though 3 was cheesy, it was great. I enjoyed Clubber Lang, Mr. T, and Hulk Hogan, Thunderlips.
It's ridiculous. Like the first one was an actual film. It was like a real film. After that, they became like Arnold Schwarzenegger films, you know?
So
like
montages.
fucking, he would not be around. He wasn't that good a fighter. He was Chuck Wepner.
But he changed his passion for glory.
Yeah, that much too. You're right about that.
I didn't see any of the sequels until I was in college because I said, my dad would say, you're going to ruin it for yourself. Right now you're pure. You only think one Rocky exists. You don't need to see the sequels. And then somebody was watching them in college. I was like, I guess I'll watch them. I was like, God damn it, he was right. It just ruins everything. Because then you can kind of be in the position where you're like, Rocky's one of the greatest movies of all time.
Yeah. I mean, do you go around recommending The Godfather 3 to people?
No.
Oh, you got to see it.
It doesn't exist.
Thank you.
And Apollo was asking for it when he got killed in that. He should have never been in that fucking ring with that Russian.
Well, I agree with you there. But you know what? Here's what also. The fact that Rocky put on his pants later, that's fucking gross.
Just don't watch Creed, man.
No.
I tell you what, I was just in Philadelphia 2 weeks ago. I ran up those stairs.
Sure.
You have to.
Yeah.
You just have to run up.
You've got to do it.
I did it the night I saw the fucking movie. That's, you know what I mean? Like the night I saw the movie, we went there. And then we went back when he won the fucking Oscar. And then we thought, that's it. You know what I mean? We had that moment in time.
Yeah.
The fact that you could go right now, some asshole's running up the fucking
Right
step.
now as we speak.
Yeah. And going like this. Ba-da-ba. Like they fucking invented it. Is there even anything that comes close to that in a movie where you have to go do it?
Yeah. I don't know. I did, what was it? Like, we did the knife fight, at the conservatory.
Oh, yeah. From James Dean, Rebel Without a Cause.
With Rebel Without a Cause. And we reenacted the knife fight outside of the
And
conservatory.
everyone stared at us like we're fucking idiots.
That's not as common, I don't think, as the Rocky stuff.
They literally thought it was a knife fight with people without knives.
But I think it's so funny that it's not even like people from Philly still kind of embrace it. There's where we did the knife fight.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I got a feeling you've never seen Rebel Without a Cause.
With James Dean?
Yeah.
I haven't. It's one of those movies I feel like I missed the game. Did I miss the boat?
No. Get on the boat.
The boat's there.
It's in the cloud.
It's a float.
Did you see Giant with him?
I haven't seen a lot of James Dean's film. And I'm a movie nerd.
He's only 3.
It's 3, yeah.
Just 3 films.
Oh, well.
All right, here's what I want you to do.
Homework.
Yeah. I think Rebel Without a Cause first.
Definitely.
East of Eden second. Take a long break. Give yourself some time and think, I got Giant. I got Giant someday. And then, you'll see it whenever.
Eventually Giant. But definitely, you should see it. It's great.
He was like the heartthrob, and he was the guy, the mysterious, sexy symbol.
He was Ryan Gosling.
Really?
Yes.
I just saw him.
Fuck, is he still there?
He was walking.
Yeah, he'll be here for another half hour.
We got a break anyway, right?
He's a beautiful man, by the way.
Yeah, I want to go down. Is the thing going on?
Yes.
He's
All right,
definitely
let's go
sitting
down and
there?
see him.
Okay, let's see him.
All right, we got a break. Go ahead and plug it, Chris.
Chad Zumach's in studio. He's performing tonight, May 12th at Gotham Comedy Club in New York City for Gotham Comedy Live on Access TV. Go to GothamComedyClub.com for more information. And he's performing at Chubby's Comedy in Indiana, May 27th and 28th. Go to Chubby'sComedy.com for tickets.
That's going to be great. All right, we're right back. Bennington.
Bennington, Raw Dog Comedy, Sirius XM 99.
Back to Bennington.
Oh, thank you, Chris.
Thanks so much, Chris.
He loves it.
Yeah.
Comedian Chad Zumach's in studio. Chad.
Oh, that's who this is right here? Great.
Yeah. He's performing tonight, May 12th at Gotham Comedy Club in New York City for Gotham Comedy Live on Access TV. Go to GothamComedyClub.com for more information.
There goes Shirley.
Oh, Shirley.
Shirley from the Stern Show.
Hi, Julie.
Hi, Shirley.
Hey, Shirley.
Hi, Julie.
Oh, we all just went down and clocked Ryan Gosling.
Oh, yeah. Caught it.
Is he pretty?
Gail was staring at him, and I say, hey, look. I go, who are you staring at? Him or Russell Crowe? She goes, I didn't even see him.
I didn't realize
Yeah,
Russell Crowe was
right
sitting next to him.
Yeah, the
and I've
Gladiator.
been staring at him for a solid 3 minutes before I realized that.
That's a movie you cried at, Gladiator.
That's your last cry movie.
Yeah.
You just said that.
Who was down there clocking him till a lot of the ladies came out? A lot of the girls.
Oh, they were all down there. All of the girls were down
Just
there.
one after another. Sad. And then Dan. Dan was there too.
Dan was very
Dan
excited.
actually did the, if I had to do a guy, it would be Ryan Gosling.
And then
I'm
I
like,
said, no one asked you.
well, first of all, no one asked you, and you couldn't get him anyway. He just had a second kid, Gosling.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
They meant Dan.
No,
That's what I thought.
Dan will never marry. That's never going to happen.
Never took a bride, that Dan.
No,
Mr.
never
Dan
took
Man.
a bride, never even took a girlfriend. All right, so here are some of the things. We were talking about the Rocky Steps. By the way, we brought up Big Wednesday, which I would definitely go to that place. You remember Big Wednesday, the movie? But the iBang has what up, Chris?
The Rocky Steps and 9 other pop pilgrimages.
Okay.
Pop pilgrimages. All right, so bring it up, and then we'll say, like we all would say this, if we went to Philly, you got to see the Rocky Steps.
Yeah.
By the way, there's a museum that's pretty good at the end of it.
Yeah.
If you want to take
That's the best part. Is like,
Does anyone go in the museum? They just run up the stairs and come back down.
my boyfriend's family, we were going to go to the museum, and they were like, you got to take her to the Rocky Steps. And he's like, yeah, there's a museum there. That's where we're going. But they just call it the Rocky Steps. They don't say.
You know, Philly's going to do a 1,000-foot water slide there this summer.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see that on the news.
Things are
Not
happening in Philly.
participate.
Philly seriously is coming back. Philly is coming back.
In a big, big way.
All right. The Chicago Art Institute from Ferris Bueller.
I've actually been there. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you stand.
You got to stand like Cameron and Mia Sarah.
That's actually a great scene. What was the song they were playing there?
Oh, that song is so good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was very moving.
Yeah. Man,
all right,
it's such a good song.
so far we're 2 for 2. We do both, right?
Yeah.
We all agree you would go there
Yes.
and stand there like Ferris Bueller and do it and enjoy it. All right, what's the next one?
The next one is the Field of Dreams in Iowa. From Field of
I've
Dreams.
never been there, but I would stop if I was driving by.
Yeah, if I knew I was nearby that.
Dude, what if you went there and had a catch with your dad?
Oh my God. So you'll be there?
Huh? But what would be even better is you have a catch with your dad.
Oh, okay.
How crazy would it be if I was Ray Liotta? I'd just go out there and come out of the corn
Holy
one day
shit,
just
I
to
would
freak everyone
scream.
out.
Oh, that'd be
I would fucking scream. You know, he wasn't even Ray Liotta then. You know what I mean? When he did that, he was just Shoeless Joe. And then after Goodfellas, you're like, I didn't even make the connection. And then I saw fucking Field of Dreams again. I go, holy shit, the fucking gangster just came out of the fucking corner.
Yes, I would see that for sure.
All right, so we're 3 for 3 that we would do all these.
Walking Abbey Road.
I would do it.
Yeah.
I would do it. The only thing is, I'd be going in the opposite direction.
You're messing it up.
Yeah.
Go the other way.
One guy going in the opposite direction, I think, would make it. All right, so we're 4 for 4 of shit that we would do.
And I'm
this
sure
is almost embarrassing.
Yeah, it would be pretty obnoxious to anyone who actually lived in those places.
Somebody had to get hit on that road after that Beatles cover.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, I've heard that it's actually like a pretty dangerous strip. It's not like there's a light there or anything.
Google
You just kinda have to,
casualties
like-
on Google. They have the cam on just to show people, because people will still do it.
Yeah, it's one of those things that people do it every day. I mean, if you're going all the way to London, and they say it's out of the way, too. It's not like fucking downtown where everything else is. You got to fucking move out. All right, hold on. Andrew in Chicago knows what song you're talking about, Gail. Go ahead, Andrew.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Hello. It was Pachelbel's Cannon.
Oh, that's what it is. Really?
Yep. It's fantastic. You guys are doing great. I'll hang up. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Oh, you know what? I like your attitude, sir. But you know what? Andrew, you still there?
Yep.
You're not hanging up. I'm sending you a pretty good prize closet.
Yeah!
Go away, Ron.
It's the pretty good prize. It's the pretty good prize closet. We have pretty good prizes. It's the pretty good prize. It's the pretty good prize closet. We have good prizes.
Andrew in Chicago. You win. Learning to Dance, the signed CD by Jack Tempchin.
All right. Nice price. Nice price. All right. Where are we, Chris? We've said 4 for 4 we're doing?
Yes. And now it's falling down the Exorcist steps in Washington, D.C.
I've been there, too. I've been to the Exorcist steps.
Are they creepy?
Yeah, they're pretty fucking creepy.
Super creepy.
They're pretty fucking creepy. I just saw it from the car. I'm not going to go climb
Yeah, I
the
didn't.
fucking
I
steps.
saw it, but I did not fake
Yeah.
fall down the steps.
No, I'm not going to do that.
No.
That's too much. I didn't even want to climb it, though.
No,
I go,
too
is there a way you could drive so I can see the top of the steps?
It's the opposite of the Rocky stairs.
Yes.
And then standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona.
Oh, I guess I would do
In
it if I was
Winslow,
there.
Arizona.
I mean, I have to be in Winslow. Is there an actual corner? They just made it up, though.
Or any corner.
It's the intersection of Kinsey Avenue and 2nd Street.
But see, I don't agree with that because he doesn't say that in the song. He says standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona.
There's a sign that says...
Such a sight to see. It's a girl, my lord, in a flatbed Ford.
And hanging at the Quick Stop in Jersey.
I have done it. I have done it. And there's a picture of me and my friend doing it.
It's still there?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I think so. I mean, I went in high
Kevin
school.
still works there. I mean, he's not doing as well as you think. Yeah, I would definitely do that. That fucking movie is unbelievable to me.
Yeah, it's so great.
And then be an American Gothic, visiting 300 American Gothic Street in Iowa. Or where the house is.
Yeah, I guess I would do that.
I don't know.
I mean, I'd have to be there.
I need a
I'm already
pitchfork.
going to the other fucking place.
This is starting to get to be a bit much.
Wasn't Iowa so popular? Pain in the ass. And then the opening of Louis from Louis C.K.
Yeah.
That's just life.
Yeah. Well, that spot, I mean, I will give Louis this. That is done exactly the way to get there. Like, you could go to that spot, walk that street, stop for that slice, turn the corner. You know, in a lot of movies, things are taken out of play. No, that's literally the walk.
I did that 2 weeks ago, and that song was in my head as I was walking. It just comes in your head. You're like,
Yeah, that's like a great opening. Like
But you know how many people go to YouTube and they recreate the opening?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Louis says he's done with that show, too.
He's over it?
He says he doesn't think he can take that character any more places. He's got a lot of fucking ideas up here.
What the character? It's him.
But he's a pop pilgrimage now.
Yeah, I guess he's no longer him. I think that's what he's saying. Yeah, but I mean, if you go back and do it, it's not going to make it any more of a iconic thing. He's already done it, you know? I'd like to see him take Horace and Pete's back somehow.
And then Nixon's famous departure of him at the helicopter.
And then...
Where do you do it?
And then right outside the fucking White House. How are you supposed to do that? There's not a helicopter there.
The Nixon Library.
That's bullshit.
I don't see
I'm not going
that,
to go to the Nixon Library and pretend that I'm in D.C. That's something a crazy person would do.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't think that should count.
I was driving back from a gig and I saw Gary, Indiana, and I'm like, I gotta go see the Jackson's house. Why not?
Sure.
Oh my goodness. Is it in the hood? It's the scariest place I've ever been in my life. This place where the king of pop was born. I thought I was going to die. I got out of my car for 2 seconds, got right back in and drove away.
The thing was, it was even scary when he was there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, look how his old neighborhood fell to shit.
Yeah.
By the way, go to YouTube for the Louis opening and look for Kokomo Joe. Can't find it?
We called him something else.
Oh, we didn't call him Kokomo Joe?
No.
Try Yabba Dabba Louie. Because that was you and Dana, right? Doing it?
Yep.
Here we go.
Let's see.
They were interns then. The show just started.
Just babies.
Yabba dabba yabba
Oh,
dabba.
God, this is so terrible.
Yabba dabba yabba dabba. Yabba dabba dabba yeah. Yabba dabba, you're gonna die. Yabba dabba
Stop it for a
yabba.
second. Why Yabba Dabba? What did that mean to us at the time?
I think someone came up with it during the show and like the day before, and we just ran with it.
We're calling Dana Dabba, I believe, because I misspelled her name in an email. And then we started calling her Dabba on the air. And then if Joe and Dana are together, they're Yabba Dabba.
Yeah, except the thing is, I had just broken both my heels right before that. So I was...
Oh, when you fell off the fucking subway.
Yeah, when I fell onto the tracks. So I was walking...
Fell or jump?
I fell. Yeah. Well, to be honest, it was an intentional safe fall so that I wouldn't fall and really hurt myself. Yeah.
Now, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Because did Rick Rubin mix that? The song?
Yes, he did, yes.
It was really good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fucking hideous.
Yabba
That's so
dabba.
stupid. When you ever think something's funny in the moment, it will never have legs. You know, it
You're
never has.
dabbing now.
Yeah. It just doesn't even mean shit to us. All right, hold on. Jonathan in North Carolina disagrees with the other caller.
Absolutely. It's not Taco Bell's canon and Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It's please let me get what I want. I think it's by Human League.
Yeah, 'cause
Human
you
League
would-
or Dream.
Why can't we find the scene on TV?
I can't tell you that.
No, I'm talking my guy.
It's please let me get what I want. Dream Academy.
All right, so we turned around and gave away the wrong fucking prize to this fucking line guy. No one looks it up. And all we would have had to do is go right there on the fucking computer. Vito, I hate to say this, but you might be back in here. Because fucking Ham Hands does not know what he's doing.
It really makes you appreciate Vito.
That's hurtful. You know that you're doing that because you're always protecting those two. It looks like you're going into the prize closet. We're just going to have you take the other man's prize. Which, quite frankly, I have no idea why he would want it. Now, Jack Tempson wrote the song Peaceful, Easy Feeling.
Yes.
And a couple other hit songs.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the
How'd you have them tied in with this?
Music and Winslow, Arizona.
We weren't anywhere near Winslow, Arizona then. We were still in Chicago.
Yeah.
Question 2. So you made that up. And he didn't write that song. Jackson Browne did.
I tied it in for the Eagles before.
That doesn't even make sense, and it's a lie. What are you giving Jonathan?
I'm giving him Signed DVD, Raising Arizona, signed by Holly Hunter.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about? Oh, Raising Arizona?
Yeah.
I thought you said Raised in Arizona. You're talking about one of the greatest fucking movies of all time. And you fucking unsell it like that. All right, here's what we're going to do. He's going to move over to the computer, and you got to go to be prize guy. Okay. Because he has no idea what he's handing out. That's a fucking great prize.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
It's huge. Holly Hunter's amazing.
And I thought that he said Raised in Arizona. I'm like, what did she do called Raised in Arizona?
Raising.
Seriously, I'll fucking choke you to the life, leaves you. Right? And when the cops get here, I go, I got a piece of tape to play for you. The way that he was fucking talking about Raising Arizona, you would have choked him too. Please, let's get 12 people in here right now. But
no need.
Make them film lovers. That's all I ask. Give me 12 film lovers.
I wish Randall Tex Cobb could come in here and bang you in the head right now.
You know who he played in that movie?
No.
What the fuck?
Thank you, Chris. That's why you're moving over to that
All right,
position.
fine. That's where I gotta be.
And you drive me a little nuts that you keep saying "and" before each thing. Just drive me just a little fucking crazy.
I don't want to.
Just drive me a little crazy.
I don't want to pull Joe.
Chad's here, and I want this to be a nice day.
I know.
You know, Ryan Gosling stopping down.
I know, it's like a really special day.
Yeah.
Not on Ryan Gosling Day. Why would you do that?
You know what I said? I said to his people, I go, can Ryan come down? He goes, well, it's girl foot rub day, and he needs a girl to rub her feet. And I go, Joe, yes.
I'll do it.
Yabba dabba dabba dabba. I'm choke you to death, Joe. I want to kill you. I'm going to kill you.
Run, Joe.
Don't.
He's coming. He's on the boat.
Take it, Joe.
You should run at me, throat out, and get it over with.
Throat out. Just exposing his throat.
I wonder if I should get some antibiotics from Pit Doc. And someone said that you shouldn't take antibiotics if you don't need them.
I've always thought that advice was bullshit, but I'll text Pit Doc right now.
Maybe you should go to a doc.
No.
And
what if they find something more important?
Doc.
Ron, what do you need him for?
My lungs are fucking killing me from this crazy cold that's going around.
Oh.
I'll contact the Pit right now.
No, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
I have some Lexapro. You want some of that?
That'll probably help me a little bit. Do away with my, What's her name that just walked by?
I didn't see her.
Jesus, Chris, what are you doing?
I got monitors in front of me. I couldn't see her.
Brooke.
Yeah, Brooke.
Oh, it was Brooke,
Yeah,
Ron.
Brooke.
Ron was
Yeah.
Brooke.
She was all crazy about what's his name.
Oh, right. She loves Ryan Gosling. She thinks that maybe he's taken over the Harry Styles position in her heart.
Was that doggy position?
Mm-hmm. Doggy. He doggied her heart.
Has anyone figured out the movie they're in that they're promoting with Russell Crowe?
Yeah, it's a
Fun Guys?
comedy called, what is it, Fun Guys?
Fun Guys.
Let's see what Rotten Tomatoes is saying.
They love it.
A lot of people are mad because neither one of them is a comedian doing a comedy, but they're actors.
Yeah.
If the fucking script is funny, it should work. I don't think Mary Tyler Moore was witty.
She killed. She slayed.
Could you see Mary Tyler Moore? So what else is up? Were you two married over here? Where you from? Huh?
All right, correction. It's nice guys, not fun guys.
Fucking, seriously. I can't have a fucking
Here's
team
the
like
sad
this.
thing is like that we trust him. Like he says something and then we trust him and then that makes us look terrible.
We are
like
terrible.
Chris is right. It's Fun Guy.
We're terrible because
fucking
Chris is
mushroom.
on our show.
And according to Rotten Tomatoes, there are no critic reviews yet for the
Good.
nice guys.
Critic reviews. Just the word reviews. You don't say critic reviews.
This is Rotten Tomatoes language.
That's like saying gay marriage. That's the big faux pas if you say I'm going to a gay marriage.
Yeah.
People mean, you mean a marriage.
Because it's a faux pas. When I went to a gay marriage, that's all we were saying.
As
Like
for
for
fun?
everything, like everything
This
was
is good
just
gay
like, yeah, this is like gay food and oh god, the gay floral arrangements here are just stunning. The gay bunting really made this tie this whole place together.
There goes Brooke again.
Bye,
Nice,
Brooke.
Bye, Brooke.
Chad, are you in a relationship? It might be perfect for Brooke.
I'm single.
Yeah.
Is she single?
Brooke's
Oh,
single.
she's
Very
very
single.
single.
Very-
She's
Really?
a little fucking crazy.
Well, so am I.
Yeah, that's true, too. You got the Lexapro. See, bro, just run down the hall and see if she wants to meet a nice guy.
Yeah. crazy on crazy. Let's do it.
Yeah, change your shirt though. I mean, the whole Public Enemy thing is going to scare her.
You think so?
She's gonna be freaked out.
What's her story? Does she work here?
Yeah, she works here. She's a nice girl. She comes in from Long Island every day. Like a bit of a rich girl, if I'm going to be totally honest
She
with
banks
you.
it up. Yeah.
She's a rich girl, and she's gone too far, but you know it don't matter anyway. Rich girl. That's always so funny. Like
on the old man's money.
who wouldn't think to yourself, and at that one part of the point, somebody should just go rich girl. Behind it. I'm
But like
really? Does that
into the
make
mic?
sense?
No, over there.
You got to
Just
be
like,
standing in the back. Rich girl.
just where you are, over there.
Could you stand back 2 more steps when you say rich girl? Thanks.
Trivia fact, I'm in a Hall & Oates cover band. We're called I Can't Believe It's Not Hall & Oates.
Are you fucking
swear to God.
Really?
Swear to God.
Oh my
I play
God.
Oates because I'm the short one.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now, I've had Hall & Oates on the show many times.
Oh.
Daryl Hall's show, live from Daryl's
It's one of the best ever.
Matter of fact, it's the best musical shows in the history of the planet Earth. And I'm going to just, I'm an idea man right now. Next week, we will open the show with a different song from that.
Oh, I
We
love
hear them
it.
live. Yeah, it's
Good
it's
idea.
unbelievable.
Live at Bennington's house.
I love the idea, except for I don't want people to come over. So, Brooke, this is Chad. Nice to see you. Now, this is, you talked about Ryan Gosling, right?
Yeah.
Chad went to school with him and was the
Really?
prom king over Ryan Gosling. He,
Really?
yeah. So, he's single. You're single, right?
Yeah.
What do you think? He's doing a television show tonight. Live at Gotham.
It's not a big deal. Norm Macdonald's hosting. It's
Wow, that's
huge.
Chad, you're playing this down. That's a real big
massive.
deal.
That's
But do you
huge.
have a date tonight?
No, I was just gonna go by myself. You know,
Is everybody thinking what I'm thinking? Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
You're crazy, but you're right.
Before you go out there,
I was gonna ask Rye if he wanted to go, but
I was going to ask Ryan
but
if he wanted
he's
to go
going.
with me.
He may be there tonight. Is that over? By the way.
No, I was actually going back to look at it.
Oh, we stopped you from doing it.
Yeah, but it's okay.
Would you like a Chad date tonight?
I only date girls from Long Island.
This is so crazy.
Oh my God.
Are you serious?
That's where she's from.
That's where she's from.
Are you joking?
No,
Yeah.
it's like
Oh
not
my-
uncommon. We're in New York City.
No, it is
No,
uncommon.
that's weird. That's a very specific thing.
Hey, I got some Long Island trivia. Billy Joel's from Long Island.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I did not
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
And that's the only celebrity from Long Island. That's it.
No
The
one else.
only one.
It's a big one.
Yeah, I
You
know.
only need one. When you
I'm
have
the
him.
next one.
No, the Baldwins, the entire Baldwin family is from there. Rosie O'Donnell.
There's a
and-
bunch of people.
Yeah.
I forget who else.
Jerry
Seinfeld.
Seidenfeld. Jerry Seidenfeld.
His house is right by his beach house is by my beach house.
You have a beach house?
In the Hamptons?
I mean, so do I.
And Amagansett.
Jesus.
Hey, wait, you have a summer place in the Hamptons?
Yeah.
What the
Actually, Paul McCartney's house is on my block.
Holy crap.
But mine's like the smaller section. His is like,
But she literally is a rich girl.
no, I'm not.
She's a rich girl, and she's gone too far. Are you really in a Hall & Oates cover
Yeah,
band?
I'll show you the video when we're done.
Why is it got to be when we're done? Why can't it be right now?
Email me.
I will.
Email me.
That is so weird what you just said.
Seriously.
Email me.
That would be like a doll for special needs kids.
How you just said that?
Dude, I'm
To our
freaked
guest
out that
chat.
you got a place in the Hamptons. Who all goes out there all summer?
My family, friends, and
Call your parents. Tell them I got August stuff. I got the entire month of August stuff.
Let's go.
I'm going to stay
you guys
with...
could come. We're pretty open.
Really?
I mean, we're pretty open to having people come.
But were you saying you guys are going to be there too? Because I want to be there during the week. I don't mind sharing during the weekend, but during the week I like it to be a little Ronnie B time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Does Paul McCartney ever come over?
No, but this is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, well, I've met him because I saw him at this place right by my house. But his wife has a beach house right across the water from us, and he has his little sailboat, a sunflower, something, and they take it over and they sail by and we wave. It's pretty funny.
That's nuts.
Wow.
What the fuck? Do you know Paul McCartney?
No.
How many years was he in
wouldn't
Led
know
Zeppelin?
me. No, He would love me if he knew me.
You're very confident.
Yeah, she is.
Huge income will do that to somebody. You know what I mean? It'll just make them feel really good about themselves. I mean, here we sit around thinking Jenny Hutt is a rich girl.
Oh, no, she's shit.
Brooke blows her shit away.
Yeah. Beach house.
No.
She buys
You,
still Jenny Hutt.
Seinfeld, McCartney,
Yeah, we're all
all enjoying the
there.
Hamptons.
BFFs.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but Seinfeld's house is like blocked by all trees, and so is Paul McCartney's.
Right.
But still, I know their driveways.
It's beautiful. You
It
know?
is, and their sailboat.
Is Lorne Michaels ever out there too? You know Lorne Michaels?
Yeah, but I haven't seen it. I don't know what he looks like actually.
All right, I can understand. All right, this is your band. What's the name of the band again, Chad?
We're called I Can't Believe It's Not Hall. I know we're on a 2-year hiatus though. We haven't. I think our saxophone player.
But this
quit.
looks like a big gig that you're doing here.
Yeah.
We were at the House of Blues. We
That's
opened
great.
for the Dan Band.
All right, so things are happening.
They were.
Yeah. Been 2-year hiatus. All right, let's just take a look.
We're playing Maneater.
It's going crazy too.
They loved it. They love I Can't Believe It's Not Hall. That's comedian Mike Polk
Yeah,
from Cleveland.
I like that Mike doesn't just make this an impression. He makes it his own.
Yeah.
Because Daryl would be like, who's he trying to be right now?
He can't hit those hall notes.
No.
That's me. I'm Oates with the wig on.
Yeah, you look good.
I'm playing rhythm guitar. That guy's G.E. Smith. All right, here I come.
You're good.
Very good.
I'm pissed you guys broke up.
Well, we need a new saxophone player so we can get back together quickly.
I feel like we should be able to find one.
Yeah,
you
I'm
know?
sure there's a sax man out there. There's always a sax man out there waiting for the call.
I had a guy, but he passed away. Clarence Swindles. Perfect.
He would have been great.
All right. Do you know, Gail, do you know who G.E. Smith is?
I do.
The guitar player?
Yes.
You know who he was married to?
He was married to, hold on, a rockin' woman.
Mm-mm.
No? Wasn't a
Do you
rock?
know this one?
I don't know, and it's driving me nuts.
Wasn't a rock star?
Not a rock.
You don't know?
I don't know.
They just gave it
movie star?
together?
Oh, G. Smith.
He was married to Gilda Radner for a while.
Oh my
did know that.
God! I
Yeah.
didn't realize that.
Yeah, didn't last long. And then she went on to marry who?
She married what's his name? The
Gene Wilder.
Gene Wilder.
Yeah, you guys are good with the last syllable. So, Brooke, what's the story? We all going out with you, and
Going to the hymns.
Do you guys could come this summer for real?
but
You're all
tonight
invited.
is there going to be a big date night for you?
Oh, I don't know. I'll think about it.
But you don't have time to think. It's tonight, honey.
You got it.
It's tonight.
I guess.
Okay.
Great.
Now here's the thing.
Perfect.
When you say yes to that,
Yes.
when you say yes to that, sleeping with is part of it. Just so you know that.
I mean,
These are
that's how women do.
This is the 212 area code. All right, you're not out on Long Island where everybody gets a chance to take something. He's in and out of the city. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Plus, I'm a stepping stone to Gaz.
right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about all that.
This is like going to a concert and sleeping with one of the road crew, and then maybe you're going to get to Steven Tyler.
It works sometimes.
Unless
okay.
you're fully ready to commit.
I don't think I'm ready for the commit yet.
When's the last time you had a date?
Like a date?
Yeah.
Like just a date with somebody that I know.
Yeah, it's just a date. I don't know any other way
Like
to
high
explain
school,
it.
like
You
middle
go back
school,
to-
maybe. I don't know.
Girls don't go on dates
I
anymore.
don't like.
What do you
date-
do? Just hook up?
Hang out.
Yeah, you just hang out. I wouldn't really say. I would feel weird. Okay, like the last date I went on was with my friend in middle school, and I just kind of did it for charity. And
sex, you mean?
No,
Oh,
just because
a date.
I felt bad. But no, we went to the movies, and he goes, "I'm cold. Do you want to hold hands?"
That's sweet.
You hold his
That
hand.
was the last date.
Make sure that's his hand, though. You got to be careful. Some guys, you know what I mean?
It's my crotch. It's
Yeah,
my
he's
crotch
going to
hand.
say he lost his
It
fingers
was his
in the war.
hand. It was his hand.
It's a stump.
How old are you?
22.
Oh, I'm 21. That's perfect.
Oh, really?
I mean, does it feel weird that she's a little bit older than you?
Yeah, I know.
And richer. A lot richer.
Much richer.
Yeah. We could fly out if you want.
Oh, that'd be great.
Fly out.
Wait, actually, like, I'm training to get my pilot's license.
Of course you are.
Did you know that?
Well, you know what? I just thought I had the scariest thought, and that was being in a plane while you're flying it. I would fucking be freaking.
My dad and my brother, I flew them. They went in the back seat. And I have taken off and I've landed, but I had help, but it still is mostly me.
I have a hard time believing this.
How many hours? You're 22. You can't get enough hours logged to do that.
Yeah, I can. Yes, I can.
Bullshit. You have your own landing strip there at your house in the Hamptons?
I think it was a flight simulator.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not an actual
Isn't
plane.
it weird to live in Long Island and then have a summer place on Long Island?
Doesn't make any
Seems
sense.
ridiculous,
That's what somebody
right?
else said, but it's not. It's like an hour and a half away, and it's like a different world out
I
there.
agree 100%.
I don't like. I don't like going back to my regular house now. It's just
I would never want to if I lived in Long
boring.
Island.
I
just live in
There's
the-
a bad cheat to Long Island. You get out there and you just feel like you're on a bowling alley and you just keep fucking driving on the same thing. It starts to drive me crazy after a while.
It is really surreal.
Yeah.
I
And
drove
then
out
you get
to
to the end of
Montauk.
it.
Yeah.
Montauk, where you're just like, okay, it's stopped.
No more.
I mean, you don't normally get to the end
Of anything.
most landmass.
You're like, guess there's no more land here.
I mean, you can't make a right or left. It's just a U-turn because the earth is stopped.
Well, you go to the lighthouse. Is the very end.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
I've never summered anywhere. I've wintered in Cleveland. And that's not...
During the summer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, your problems or growing up were probably very different than Brooks.
I had a lot of problems.
Oh, I'm sure you did. Just different kind of problems. Your problems were what? If fucking Posh Spice's son was going to call you back?
This caviar's
No.
turned.
No, I
have no idea.
My childhood was good, but like the teen years.
You're all fucking gangly. Just fucking
cutting.
buck teeth and elbows running around Long Island. Dad, we taking the plate out? He's like, honey, you're going to grow into your look.
Dad, this HTML on MySpace isn't working.
Really,
No.
what were your problems?
They're actually kind of depressing. I don't want to go into it.
Rape? You know what? That's none of our business. If that happened, that's something to keep
No,
to
I wasn't
yourself.
raped.
You went to the biggest problem.
Because if it's not that, then it's nothing.
No, I was never raped.
That,
You don't have
you
to
don't even have
answer.
to say that. That doesn't have to go down.
Doesn't-
You know?
Joe, don't pull that.
Yeah, no. I mean, I had some problems, but I worked them out. And,
What was it? Gold? Like some of your
okay.
stuff wasn't made out of gold?
Okay, it's not funny. I'm not that rich. No, I'm not rich at all. I'm like,
No.
we're comfortable.
Yeah.
No,
Seems
Yeah,
like
I'm
it.
serious.
I can tell you, I wouldn't be anything but.
I'm very serious.
Imagine.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I used to have an eating disorder because I figure skated and it spiraled out of control. I was
Do you know who gets
on the verge of death?
I know, but you know who gets eating disorders?
Who?
Rich girls. That's not something
No.
poor girls get.
That's anybody.
How thin did you get?
I got really thin.
Do you have like a weight thing?
Yeah, well, it was like in high school. So like junior year of high school, I was 80 pounds.
That is so fucking hot. I mean, just seeing you at your perfect weight.
No.
You know, at your perfect weight. Do you have
was
any
rough.
pictures?
No, I didn't take many pictures at the time. It was like a really rough period, actually.
I know, honey. They came up with a cure for that disease. It's called fudge. Just sit there and enjoy some fudge. Yeah, it's one of the most delicious
I
cures.
found that early on. Still loving
You
it.
never had the problem though. Hey, in case I ever get an eating disorder, I just stocked up on this fudge.
I don't know if you ever saw him eat. It's a disorder.
No, it's odd. It's very strange.
Well, actually, you have an eating disgusting.
Usually when he's eating, I feel like I need to say to him, you know I'm not going to take that away from you, right?
What'd you
You
just
don't
say?
have to do,
He eats
you don't
like
have
the
to
wallaby.
eat with speed or just hunched over it.
Have you
I'm
seen
gonna
the
let you
farting
have-
wallaby eat? It's the most frightening thing I've ever seen. I don't. We don't have a lot of time. Maybe we'll do it on the. Yeah, go ahead and do it. We'll do it on the show tomorrow. It's just put farting wallaby eating. It only farts for a second, but the way it eats is so disgusting. So you want it to be such a good figure skater. Now we'll just watch this thing eat first. That's over now. The fart's done. Now watch it take its first bite, though.
Oh my God!
Isn't that frightening?
Oh my God! He's so fast. I didn't know they were so fast.
It's so scary. Joe, write that up and send it to the admin.
Just trying to make friends with Pete because
I know it's all boring. But when you go and watch that thing eat, you feel like this guy could lose his fingers at any moment.
I didn't even know wallabies had that kind of speed.
Yeah. So you're in the 11th grade. You're at your perfect weight, 80 pounds.
Yeah.
Right? And what was it who noticed that, like, hey, she's got an eating disorder?
It took a long time.
Yeah.
It was actually I was at a competition in Lake Placid, and I was with my whole family, and I'm not going to go into details, but they found out that my dad found out, and I think he kind of swept it under the rug. Like, he didn't want to believe it. And, it was the worst.
That's the best way to deal with problems. That's the way I deal.
I think my dad's the best, but I think
I know what I'm saying. Why confront? Because I'm sure you look fantastic.
I think he thought it was just like a brief time period. Like, he just thought she's just trying to lose weight.
Yeah.
But
what were you doing? You eating speed?
No.
X-Lax?
I wasn't eating.
At all?
No, I didn't find that till college. But
did you puke? Did you puke after eating?
No, but I'm not going to go into it. It was really like you wouldn't recognize me. I was like a monster.
Like a cute monster, though. Like a sexy, cute monster.
No, I was like ugly, really ugly. And,
like a gremlin?
Yeah.
I think you're being a little hard on yourself.
No, I mean, it was like a really rough time. And then I got pulled out of the competition. Everybody found out.
That's mean.
It was the worst weekend of my life. My dad wouldn't take me. We were going snowmobiling, and my dad's like, Brooke, you can't do it. You have to stay home. I'm like, Dad, just because I'm not eating doesn't mean I can't do activities.
Right,
he
but
was
still,
like,
that's for the healthy
upset.
children. That's for the healthy kids.
Yeah, it was the healthy kids.
Yeah. And you have brothers and sisters?
Yeah.
How much they weigh?
My sister is like a stick. Hate her.
You're jealous of her now. That she has an eating disorder.
No, she eats really healthy. She's just really skinny.
Now, do you have a hard time eating every day now?
No, I'm totally good. I eat everything.
Was there a light switch that went off for you? You started eating better?
Yeah, but it's too sad to say. It's like too sad.
Somebody died?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what brought your appetite back?
No, but it was like so hard on everybody. Like, my mom didn't even know her and was like bawling her eyes out, just saying like, oh, that could have been you.
But anything could have been anybody.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what'll help you eat, though. Just watch TV.
No, I'm good now.
You just want to get a little snack for yourself.
Even some Instagram accounts just look delicious.
What's that mean?
Like food on Instagram.
Yeah.
Well, you're so weird.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm good now. I eat everything.
Yeah.
I eat too much now.
When you say you eat everything, you don't mean the ass, though, right? Because that's what I look for.
That's a valid question.
No.
We have this day coming up. I just want to know what's going on.
When a girl says I eat everything, I go, oh, perfect.
Okay, great. She seems cool.
No,
okay, because I didn't want to be the one to bring it up.
I definitely don't eat everything.
But you don't know yet until you try. I mean, until you
I know. I'm not trying.
But what if Ryan Gosling needed it?
No.
No, come on.
Gosling? The Gauze?
Right, I don't think he has those names.
I call him that all the time.
Well, then that's why he won't be friends back with you.
That's fucked up.
Did you ever go through a problem like that? Like,
I guess the drinking problem all these years.
Yeah, I guess drinking and pills. And stealing.
Yeah,
gambling.
Gambling. Yeah,
gambling is a problem.
Yeah, the gambling's terrible.
Yeah. And stealing food from your coworkers. That's kind of an eating disorder. They switch places, and we just look up and he's eating little Joey's food.
Yeah,
did you ever pay him back
he needed that nourishment.
Not yet. No, not yet. Maybe after the show, I'll take him out for a banana. If you know what I mean.
Okay, no one has to take anyone out for a banana. It's never been done.
Joe,
it's
go out for a banana later.
Never been done.
I think in Africa, I think a monkey is taking
let's say
another
you and
monkey
me
out.
get out of here. Go get a couple of bananas together.
How's that sound there, Jojo, huh?
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You know, while you were doing that, Joe actually got the farting, what is it, a wombat? Is that what it is?
Farting wombat, yeah.
But the way it eats is much more interesting than the fart.
Yeah, it really just goes
frightening.
at it.
I was literally scared. Are you late for something, Chad? Because I know we went over today.
Oh, no.
I know you got a big show tonight. You got a date. You got to go out. You got to buy a suit. You got to get a tux. You go out and get a gown, and we'll turn this into like the that thing uptown, that museum.
The Met Gala.
Yeah, this could be like the Met Gala.
Beautiful.
Could you lose some weight really fast?
Probably. I know all the tricks.
Yeah, what do you do?
No, I'm not going into it. Nope.
But do you ever worry to come back to you again?
No, because I know how to conquer it. And also, I didn't mention that I had, the reason why I got it was because I had a thyroid problem that I didn't know about for a year and a half. And I almost died from that. But that's what led into the eating disorder. So I don't think I would have gotten it.
So the thyroid made you heavier?
Yeah, well, it made you gain weight. It
less?
also, like, slows down everything in your body. So it started making me depressed. Because I was always, like, really happy person.
I can't imagine that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know
it was
you, and
scary.
you drag ass around here. You're like,
what the house?
You're like, hey, dude, did you meet my girlfriend from NBC?
What? I was so excited.
What'd she do at NBC?
She's PR. She works for SNL, Jimmy Fallon, and Seth Meyers.
Why didn't you? And you grew up with her?
No, but we were roommates in college for 4 years.
What was she doing here on the radio?
She brought over Lynette Devine. I butchered that, I think.
Loretta Levette Devine.
She's like really famous. I knew her right when I saw her, but I didn't know the name.
Does anybody know?
Yeah,
who's...
I'm not sure.
Yeah, we all know famous people.
She was so nice. She was awesome.
Yeah, she'd have to be. I mean, you know.
Lynette Devine, of course.
Ladies and gentlemen.
No,
Loretta
you'll
Levette Devine.
I know Ernest Borgnine.
Oh God, he's great.
Is that who she brought over?
Fucking Marty makes me
Yes,
cry.
that's who she brought over. But you'll recognize her right when you see her.
Why, she lost a lot of weight?
No, just like she's a.
What, does Vito
memorable
try
face.
to add something to the game?
Oh, it was Loretta Devine from the Carmichael
Loretta
Show and
Devine.
Dreamgirls.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah. I do
okay.
like her.
Yeah, she's great.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I told
Yeah.
you.
You're right. We
Loretta
do like her.
Levette, yeah, you're right. I didn't know she was from the Carmichael Show.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
a very funny show.
I didn't mention that.
Yeah. The dad on the show. We've had on the air a couple times.
Dag.
Everybody loves Dag.
He's the best.
You ever date black guys when you were younger? Out on Long Island? Is that a Long Island thing?
No.
Definitely.
Like, I'm going to get even with your dad. You won't let me go out on a goddamn...
It's a great way to rebel.
Yeah.
No, me and my dad are best friends.
Too close now.
So you never do that to him?
Okay, no.
You can never hurt him
I
that
have
way.
nothing against that.
But if you did get that out, that'd be the perfect way to get even.
No.
You happy now, Dad? Is this what you wanted?
Yeah, he wouldn't care.
That's cool.
Yeah. I don't care.
A lot of black people out the Hamptons.
I don't
You run
think
around with
there's that
Denzel
many.
Washington's kids.
No, I mean, there's
Who else
definitely
is at the
some.
Hamptons? Spielberg has a place out there, right?
Yeah, and what's his name? The guy. Oh, not Bruce Springsteen. Oh, Billy Joel.
Oh, what's his name? Yeah.
Billy Joel, but Billy Joel sold his house.
Hey, you know what? My nickname, I start calling him the Piano Man, and it's really been fun.
Holy shit, that's a great fucking nickname.
Yeah, I'll just go, hey, Piano Man.
Hey, do you mind if I use that? Just like some of my friends if I'm talking about him?
One time I got drunk and I was just like, sing us a song. You're the Piano Man. He went to a Yankees game one time and people were just singing that fucking song, Honesty, at him, like just the cheesiest song that he has. You just see him like, I will fuck you up. That song made me a lot of money. So, no to the date tonight, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's not in the cards.
Do me a favor before you leave. Eat a peach. I'm concerned. I want you to eat a peach. That's all.
Can I ask you why? I just want to know why, just for my own security.
I don't know.
Oh, that she won't
You're
go
not
with
feeling
you?
it? The
I
electricity?
don't see the electricity. I don't feel it.
No.
Maybe it was because just being with Ryan Gosling.
Okay.
Kind of just like,
all right.
You went from there to here.
I saw like the different levels. And
Right.
I don't know.
Well,
but you realize that he's in a cover band, too, for Hall & Oates.
Forgot about that.
I could be in a cover band.
I play a fake John Oates. I don't know if that does anything for you.
I don't know if it does. I'll think
love
about
John
it.
Oates.
I'll sleep on it for next time.
There won't be a next time, okay?
This
is it.
Bummer.
The one
You're not
time
going to
offer.
fucking toy with Chad.
Bummer.
I never heard somebody just say, I don't get it with you. I don't see
I don't see
how
it
that could
happening.
happen.
Heartless.
Yeah. I mean, you could have made it about you.
Yeah.
But,
Hey,
you know,
you could have even said you were dating
I'm weird.
someone.
I'm just nervous. Yeah. You could have lied and say I'm engaged.
I'm
and
engaged
edit
to
this.
Ryan.
It's too late. You know, you've taken a 21-year-old boy and you broke his heart.
I'm not used to dating people younger than me.
Or older than you or anything. It seems like there's something
No
that
dates.
happens. You won't eat food and you won't date people.
She hangs out with an NBC friend of hers all the time.
I
Yeah.
like that girl though.
She's okay.
So you never met her?
No, but you pointed to her through
She's
the
really
thing.
pretty. She's like tall, blonde, blue eyes. Joey and Vito met her.
Oh, is that right, Joe? You back this up?
Yeah. She's tall, pretty, blonde.
All right, scale of 1 to 10. Be honest here. I want you to be honest.
8.
Would you? 8?
Eight.
Solid
What?
8.
Holy No. shit.
That's
What's
a
up with
long,
her then?
hey, that's a Long Island 10s.
Yeah.
That's very good.
No, she's like a 12.
That can't happen. Now, here's the thing about girls from Long Island. I'm sure I'm not even going to put you on this. You're a nice young girl and you're our friend.
Thanks.
I know about this. And you say to girls from Long Island, what's on your list? How many guys you've been with, right? They never count oral. They'll always say, oh, I've only been with 4 guys. You're like, really? You're fucking 34.
Yeah.
4 guys is all you've been with. And then you're like, oh, I blew 220 guys.
Because that was constant.
They will blow anybody out there, but they will not sleep. Now, you know, I know it's not true of you, but it's true of other girls out there, right?
I actually don't. I mean, I don't really know.
Do me a favor. Ask people, go, how many on your list?
Should I take a street survey?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, all the time. When you get out to the fucking Hamptons.
Go on Long Island Railroad,
Who was
ask everyone.
the girl in the Hamptons that ran over people that time?
Oh, shit.
What?
She was
Really
the PR
something?
girl.
Yeah, she was a PR
Oh, yeah,
girl.
she was constantly doing it.
Yeah, it was like one of our favorite things. I remember when I first came to New York. It was like Lily's something or...
Yeah, she just kept...
Lizzie Grubman.
Yeah, Grubman.
I remember we did Lizzie Grubman bowling, where we just had fucking people bowling at regular people. Because the post turned on it, because it's like a rich woman just running over regular people.
Yeah.
What?
Who's driving them nuts.
I've never.
Destroyed them.
Yeah. You would have been like 7 at the time. You
Yeah.
probably were weighing like 25 pounds.
So Chad
when
would
this
have been like
happened.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chad, it would have been.
She ran over 16 people. And,
What?
And charged with a 26-count felony.
And then go to fucking jail.
Nope.
16 people is actually shocking that you could hit that many people. Like, how can someone hit 16
Wait,
people
she
and
did-
still be, like, going?
She did it on purpose?
Yeah.
Or.
Yeah, she just didn't
She
like
felt
the
like they
pores.
were in the parking lot.
Maybe they're
Get
recreating.
out of the way!
They were recreating Abbey Road.
Oh, jeez.
And then all right, so apparently as she was hitting people, she
Shitting
screamed,
people.
hitting people.
You said
with her-
shitting, though.
Hitting people. She was screaming, fuck you, white trash. She's the fucking best.
Yeah, she's great.
What a
She's
piece
crazy.
of shit.
Yeah. Do you know the Grubmans out there on Long Island?
You guys
No.
remember
They're
them?
the house on the other end.
No, I haven't met them.
Have you seen them sailing?
I haven't, actually. Maybe.
Twisted Sisters from Long Island, too. So if you ever run into that.
Do I know them?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very big band.
Probably.
back in
Bluegrass
the day.
band.
Good Rats, also from Long Island.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't love Long Island. Like, it's not my favorite place. Like, the people I don't love. The geography I like.
Right, but you hate Long Island people.
I don't.
Maybe the poorer ones, the fishermen.
Filled with garbage.
No. I mean, I just a lot of people I met aren't my type of people.
I just had to say this to you and Chad. My show ends at 3:00.
Oh, wow.
So
The
you two
fuck?
have really fucked me up today.
Oh, sorry.
Thanks for nothing.
But you know what? You're two interesting people, and we've got a beautiful date for you to go out.
It's gonna be sexy.
Let's tell them where we're sending them.
Oh, they're sending them to
We.
Because Chad's performing tonight, May 12th at Gotham Comedy Club in New York City for Gotham Comedy
He
Live
wouldn't do it for me.
I know.
He wouldn't put it over.
on Access TV. They'll be going to the Gotham Comedy Club. You go to GothamComedyClub.com for more information. And Chad's podcast, Sit Down Zumach, is available online. Go to ChadZumach.com. And he's performing at Chubby's Comedy in Indiana, May 27th to 28th at Chubby'sComedy.com.
You get a lot of good guests on your podcast?
I do. I got Godfrey. I got DMC from Run DMC.
That's very cool.
Yeah, so I got some cool names on there.
Yeah.
Mostly Florentine. My buddy Joe Howard from Cleveland.
Can I tell you something? You get Florentine on this show, you're on to something, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much for being in here today, bro.
You're welcome.
I'm glad you're eating again.
Thank you. Me too.
And if you ever need a bagel or anything, let us know. All right.
Okay, I'll stop in for.
I just want to let you know I own a 2008 Hyundai Sonata without a door handle.
Ooh.
Did that put you over?
I
go
just
tonight?
missed the cut. I'm so sorry.
You know what I would do? I'd feed her with a dropper like she was a baby bird.
Okay.
Like a little 80-pound bird.
This was like, what, 4 years ago?
Yeah. So
No, 6. 6 years ago. I'm really
see,
bad.
that keeps you from remembering things. You know?
That's actually true. But yeah, no, it was
Does
6
it keep
years
you
ago.
from remembering things?
I know it definitely screws you up.
Do you get any
screws you
pictures
over.
of you when you were that thin?
No, why would I take pictures of myself? I
Dying to
was not
see 'em.
very social.
I'm dying to see them.
No.
I wanted to know what you look like.
I genuinely don't think I have any pictures because why would I
You
take
got
a
body
picture?
issues.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't care.
But do you wear shorts into the shower? You're like, I can't.
No.
Is it never nude?
Never nude. I like that. Cutoffs?
No.
That's it for us. Oh, we're in early tomorrow morning. 7 o'clock doing Opie Radio at 7 o'clock. And then back here. And then I got the town hall that I'm doing with Dana Carvey, which is hilarious.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's really, really funny, man. I'm going to give you a hint. I make everybody who asks a question do an impression. No one is any good. It's a really uncomfortable time for Dana Carvey. Let's give away Chris's right now. Just go ahead and do it.
California, John Doe's got the upper hand.
John Doe's got the upper hand.
Wow, Chad.
I do a better than Chad.
Holy shit, I
just
got
now
goosebumps.
realized who it was. That's
Yeah.
7, right?
That's 7.
Oh my God, I didn't.
bullshit.
This is the whole time he's been doing it. I
Dude,
didn't
try to
realize
do
that.
it like Chad does it, like perfect.
Try one more time.
California, John Doe's got the upper hand.
John Doe's got the upper hand.
Oh my God.
Andy Dufresne.
Holy shit, I felt like I was in the movie.
I actually thought you just played a clip. That was you.
I
Wow,
do it so
Chad.
much better than Chad.
Woo!
No, you don't.
That's
Chad
white
too.
heat.
Andy Dufresne.
Oh my God. He's got more
I
than
don't
just
do
the
Shawshank.
one line.
I don't do Shawshank.
Just,
I haven't seen it enough.
just try it once.
Andy.
No, do it correctly.
I am doing it, Andy. Correctly. Not replace correctly with Andy.
That's it for us. Chad, so great to have you here.
Thanks so much for
It
coming
was a
in.
thrill for me. Thank you.
And you'll do it next time you come to New York. You just come back now.
I'll be great. Thank you.
This is like passing an audition in a comic book.
Oh,
like
cool.
he's
Very
in.
good.
He's passed. You know, call us with your dates. We'll give you. And then, Brock, it's nice to see you again. Thanks for sharing today, too.
You're welcome.
Thank you for the rejection.
Yeah.
You're welcome. No problem.
That was
Anytime.
fun.
Go
Seeing
work.
our new friend getting shot down in the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see everybody
Used to it.
again in 1974.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening!